He's managed to get himself on the inside, but he's caught up on the curve. Sean Allen, the outside special. We've had a huge crash. This can't be real. I think he might have this job done finally. Even Warren gives him no space. He's in the wall. He's in the wall. Turn point. He's taking out Brody Steen as well. Oh, big moment there. Kurt Stenberg on his roof. Big crash at turn 4. That is unfortunate. Huge crash. Oh, the huge wiggle on. Thought he was clear. Oh, he loses a little bit of time to get back to the turn. What the? Late move, final corner, that's the death! Well, g'day everyone, and welcome to round 8 of the Automobilista Supercars Championship here from Darwin. It's been a little while, but we are back, and this amended COVID calendar is certainly going to put us through our paces in the next couple of weeks. My name's Stairs, also known as Alistair Schmidt, and I'm joined in commentary tonight by Liam Harrison, also known as Madbird.
Thank you very much. The compressed COVID calendar. Try to run that alliteration out as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, why not?
The compressed, compacted COVID calendar. Yes, we're here at Darwin. It's been a while. When was the last? Because this was we were meant to do this last week, but of course there was the delay as there was in real life. Last time we were at the Sydney Motorsport Park for the second time. That must have been, what, a month ago?
Yes, it was a little while. It was. So much so that we've almost forgotten what happened. So let's just have a little bit of a refresher of where we're at in the championship from the points perspective. And it is still Dane Warren with a massive lead out front ahead of Sean Allen. He could quite easily sit out a night or two. If Sean Allen were to win all of those races, he would still retain the lead of the championship. Kurt Stenberg, defending champion, in third place there, ahead of Brody Steen. So a great pairing there, Sean Allen and Brody Steen for Race on Oz. Zach Baker in fifth place, the leading ZB driver. Colin Warwick, and then I was a little bit slow to get through the rest of the top 10, and so there are the people who are 11th through 20th, as you can see on your screen, with the letters and the numbers in the configuration in which you can see them.
Beautifully done, Stairs. I'm very always in awe of your ability to excuse me. To what? Sorry. Well, to bugger that up. Yeah. So let's have a look at the team's points classification, shall we? See if I can do a bit better. So Race on Oz with a commanding lead, 3,000 points, or just a little bit more than that, ahead of the next two-car team that we're well and truly aware of, the ZB Racing team of David Nedlich and Zach Baker. Almost 500 points, actually more than 500 points down. And then almost another 500 points back to Trans-Tasman Racing with Logitech G Altus Esports, a distant fourth. And then Stealth Penrite, RSM Racing, all Australian races, Pleb Sim Sport, Trick Sports, and then I didn't quite catch whoever was in 10th. So.
Now, an important point on that list, actually, some of the drivers from, or some of those teams are now defunct, such as the Altus Esports. Well,
yeah.
not defunct, but no longer being represented in this Supercars Championship.
That's who was in 10th, was DW Privateer, which is, of course, Dane Warren's personal team.
Here's a look at the revised schedule for 2020. As you will most likely know, we follow the... just looking at a message that has been redacted, actually, on our live chat because of swears. But welcome, Dr. Joshi. Good to have you along. Long-time friend and commentator, fellow commentator of ours. Yes, so that is the revised schedule with a huge asterisk over it because it is, of course, based on the real-life Supercars calendar, which is subject to change with a capital S, a capital U, a capital B, a capital G. They're all capital letters.
They're all capital letters.
Apart from the way that I've written it there, which has mostly lowercase letters.
Very much so. I noticed you didn't put... You could have just put subject to change, because there isn't really an asterisk next to any of those races in particular, so the little icon to denote, keep an eye out for this icon, and that means this. Sort of unnecessary there. So if I can nitpick just a tiny bit,
there'd be a bloody constellation there. There'd be so many asterisks,
so many stars.
Yeah,
constellation of asterisks.
It really would.
Beautiful.
But that is
good
well.
stuff.
Write it down, screenshot it, do whatever you like to do to create...
Tattoo it onto the inside of your thigh?
But definitely do that in pencil.
Yes.
So maybe not the tattoo option.
Maybe not the tattoo.
Because, yeah, if we, of course, will be back here next week, everything permitting. It's probably the most likely one to occur, round 9 of that championship. The rest, of course, we're labouring this point, but if you do want to make sure that you're tuning into us at the right time, follow the real life calendar. Will always be on the Tuesday following the real life race, the exception of that being the Bathurst 1000, which the date is still to be decided, and the reason for that is because there was a clash. The original date that we had picked with the V8 Scops Bathurst race, I think it was the Bathurst race it clashed with, but that is the reason for that.
Yep, and now I think there was possibly a conflict with the Automobilista Australia Bathurst or something as well. So lots of people wanting to do Bathurst, and of course everyone putting on a pretty good show. So we don't want to step on anybody's toes, but we've got anybody's toast. We've got 23 minutes left in this practice session, Stairs, and we are here at Hidden Valley, which is a track that, of course, Kurt Stenberg, our defending champion, knows well enough since he built the bloody track.
Yeah. Had some great battles here last year, didn't we, Madbird?
We did. As we just saw Brody Steen getting turned around a little bit, as him and one of the ZB Racing guys had a little bit of a tangle.
Brody Steen and that Mustang that we're looking at. Oh, sorry, you're talking about the other one, Sean Allen, is it?
No, I was trying to figure out who was in the ZB car that had the tussle just then.
Sorry,
during practice. But no, last year we had a great scrap between Thomas McMillan and Kurt Stenberg.
Currently, Thomas McMillan is leading the timesheets. Kurt Stenberg in third, a second off.
Yeah, I can only assume that he woke up an hour and a half ago and has crawled into the sim ring and done nothing but practice since.
I don't know. Every time we've heard that he's woken up as the sun was setting, he's had a pretty rubbish night. He hasn't exactly covered himself in glory in recent rounds, but he looks set to change that tonight. I think this is a good track for him, Madbird.
Yeah, hashtag student life. He does seem to do quite well here. As we said, he had a fantastic battle with Kurt Stenberg last year, so hopefully can recreate something like that.
Hope so.
And obviously some battles up and down the grid as well. We, at the moment, conspicuous via their absence are the Warren brothers, neither of whom are in the server as yet. Now, of course, usually they're the bit of the kind of the class of the field. So, can these Race on Oz guys you can see on your screen right now driving line astern? Can they maybe take advantage if they don't appear in time?
We haven't actually seen Ethan Warren for quite some time, but as we detailed at the top of the broadcast, Dane leads the championship by an extraordinary margin, and maybe it's ironic that I said he could possibly sit out a round or two, because maybe that is what he's doing right now. I don't know. That's for sure. Usually he will come in right at the end of practice and set some incredible lap times that will probably make the others' eyes water. Oh. Am I not wrong?
No, you are. My brain had a bit of a hiccup there as it tried to figure out the double negative of what you just said. Yes. You are not wrong.
There's a lot of people going off the track right now. Brody Steen's just recovering to the track. Alex Cattle,
T1,
out of the same stable actually. The Race on Oz satellite team there. That red car, also a Race on Oz vehicle.
Yeah, he's had sort of mixed fortunes as Alex Cattle. He's been a little bit unfortunate, I think, sometimes to get taken out or to crash off himself. But he's still, I guess you could say, he's still bringing home points for the sister team in a manner of speaking, but also not in the correct way of speaking.
Last time we saw Ethan Warren was the first of the Sydney rounds that we had. Which was going back a little while now. We had 2 rounds in Sydney. If nothing else but to make up for the fact that we didn't go to Sydney at all last year. Because, well, we went there for a test run. We went there...
for a non-championship round.
For a non-championship round, yes.
And now, honestly, between that and we did it in the We did it in Apex Rear Wing in the DRMs, I think. Did we? Or the Caterhams? Did it in the Caterhams, and that was 2 races. Honestly, between those 2 races in the Caterhams and the 4 races we've had here in Automobilist for Supercars, I think I've had enough of SMP for a little while.
Oh, if you haven't had enough of SMP though, you should check out that second race in the Caterhams on the Apex Rear Wing channel. It was a championship decider, not for first place, but for 5th place, I think, between you and Decimation. We won't say how that ended, but rest assured it was mighty, mighty close. So.
Intense.
It was.
Yep.
Yeah, just like camping.
Just like doing it intense.
Good grief.
As we're going to be next month, Stairs.
Yeah, that's a horrible segue. We'll be camping. We'll not be doing it intense.
Well, we'll be camping intense.
Yeah.
And you know,
what's going? Who's just snuck there?
Other things might happen. What's
going on here?
Dane Ricciardo, who I was just saying prior to the broadcast, has an incredibly similar name to Daniel Ricciardo. Looks like he's
come a cropper.
Not sure. Well, I'm not sure if he has or if he's just pulled over there for like a cheeky smoke or something.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
And he's recovered to the track well enough. He waited for everyone to get out of the way, so that was nice of him.
Saw a bit of action here at the end of the race last year. Anyone who's following our socials might have seen that as the leading trio were coming up to, well, just do their photo op at the end of the race, there was a stray tyre.
It was. Did we ever find out who that tyre came from?
It was one of the ZB guys. I've neglected to do my research and find out.
Because I did watch the video on our Facebook page, and I noticed you cut the video off before we actually figured out where the tyre came from.
Oh, we didn't actually find out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do apologise.
After that, we followed. I think it was Ethan Warren and Kurt Stenberg doing some 11s down the road.
Ah, lovely.
In the other direction.
Of course. 11s.
Yes, that's when you make an 11 with your tyres. Let's have a look at this replay of what became of Dane Ricciardo. Oh, just lit it up on the rears.
Oh, it's a bit of a hefty impact. There's the
Yes.
drag strip you can see behind them, which is also used relatively recently, or relatively regularly rather, at Hidden Valley.
It's gone into the pits now. We've got a few wildcards joining us from Super 2, and confusingly for us, they're all in the same car because we've only got one colour of wildcard car at the moment. But that's Stenny there, who is gracing us with his presence, I think for the first time since Tasmania last year. Someone might correct me if I'm proven to be wrong, but this is the father of Kurt Stenberg, so I wonder how well he knows this track considering his son built it.
Yeah, you'd expect there to be a lot of there would have been a lot of practicing going on under his roof, but I guess how much does he pay attention to it? They definitely have an interesting racing relationship, do they? As they do as father and son.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep. Also in one of the ZB wildcards, we've got Lachlan Horan, currently sat up in 11th place, and I've seen him running in quite a few series.
Also got Benjamin D'Alia, who not really a wild card, although he is from Super 2, but we have seen him a few times in the main game.
He's in the garage at the moment.
He's not. Benjamin D'Alia is not the one with the massive forehead, is he?
That's Luke Rosella.
Oh, of course it is. How could I forget?
Who we hope to be seeing. He actually was victorious against Kurt Stenberg at the I can't remember what circuit it was that the AMS Oz guys did last week. But congratulations to Luke Rosella on that victory. Certainly earned his stripes. Hard to beat Kurt Stenberg around a street circuit.
Yeah, he's no slouch. No slouch at all.
There is Benjamin Dahlia coming out of the pits with, well, this is going to be interesting, isn't it?
One of the wild cards.
One of the wild cards. Let's see if we can locate him on the live timing. We'll be relying on that a bit tonight, won't we, Matt?
We will, with so many cars looking the same. Unfortunately, they need to have like a few different colours. They need like black, green, red, blue, and pink.
Well, they did actually create some for some of the runners who didn't actually have liveries, but they do have names on the side of them, which could prove confusing. But I think it'd be less confusing than being in different coloured cars, just being allocated a colour, really.
Who else? We've also got a Michael Pollard, I don't know why
I think
made it more...
that was actually who was coming out of the pits behind Benjamin Daly. It was Michael Pollard.
I just made it more complicated for myself by assuming that Michael would not be pronounced the way that it is.
Mikhail.
Mikhail? Well, there's a Mikhail at my work that's spelt the same.
It's funny, everyone says Michael Schumacher, but in his native Germany, his name is Mikhail.
Mikhail? Well, it's Max Verstappen in Dutch. It's Max. Max. More like a sort of an AKS noise rather than MAX.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen.
Well, my name's Alistair, and in native Scotland, it's fucking shit name.
It's what name? Sorry.
That's how it's pronounced.
Oh.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my name's Liam, and that's short for William, which means helmet.
Oh, does it? I didn't know that. I thought it meant bloody some warrior or something.
It means like a helmet of a warrior, I think.
Okay.
But of course, I've always just taken it to mean your little flesh helmet.
Oh goodness me.
Make sure you say hello to us if you are in the chat.
Yep.
We've certainly got a little bit more time to kill here before we jump into qualifying.
Well, we're introducing you all to our cast of drivers. RSM Latino there in 7th place. He's been quite a regular participant in the main game, but also leading the Super 2 Championship now. I'm at risk of embarrassing myself once again here because I didn't check whether he still was at the conclusion of last night's proceedings.
You said there was a bit of drama last night. I heard you. I understand.
Yeah, every time I looked at the screen, there was someone backwards in the fence, sideways, spinning someone else out, crashing on the start line.
Goodness me.
Yes.
Look forward to that.
Well, if it could happen after we've had some good battles, that would be fantastic. What's caught your eye, man?
Oh, I'm just looking. You can't see our setup, viewers, but we do have Stairs has helpfully taped a small map of Hidden Valley to the top of one of our monitors, and I noticed just in what a jumble of what a clusterfuck the corners, like what a cluster schmozzle the 10 through 14 are.
Muzzle
where it's like I would consider half of those probably you could just not worry about.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky with a track like this. It's sort of, I think they're the best type of circuits. The kind of circuits that look like they were drawn by a 3-year-old. Because there's no such thing as a straight line. There's just it's going right or left.
Except for the huge long straight line.
Yeah, apart from that, that's basically where the 3-year-old was doing a scribble, and then they came up against a straight object,
an edge.
Yeah,
they had a ruler on left discarded on their paper. Maybe they were doing with the baker's paper where they were tracing something underneath.
Let's go on board, Madbird, with a lap of this circuit with Thomas McMillan going ever so close to the right-hand side. Jesus. I don't know if there's any aerodynamic benefit, but let's try and identify these corners, shall we? Braking down into turn 1, this is a very, very hard braking zone. Actually a little bit more than 180 degrees this corner. It folds back on itself. And then turn 2 and turn 3, basically the same thing, flat out more or less, up on that curb there. Turn 4 here, car gets light down into turn 5, and look at Thomas McMillan backing it in a little bit far away from his fastest time in this practice session, and then down into turn 6, this hairpin, which could well be a good overtaking opportunity. We saw Thomas McMillan spin here last year, which you won't want to remember. Turn 7, and on to turn 8, basically an acceleration zone. Turn 9 here, and then turn 11. Turn 10, turn 11, turn 12, turn 13, and turn 14. They just keep coming up at you. Don't expect us to remember that, but that is a lap of a lap of Hidden Valley by Thomas McMillan. My goodness, it's over in a flash, isn't it? It is.
It's not a quick lap, just over a minute. So although we do have 3 races tonight of 19 laps each, probably as he's giving us a show, and he's going to be deceased in a moment.
No, there's a lot of runoff.
There is a lot. That is an incredible amount of runoff.
Yeah.
We just catch a replay of that.
I think we're going to get a bit of slow-mo here for the pretties.
It's something I've grown accustomed to in our Apex Rear Wing stream. Stairs is your beautiful slow-mo work.
I think he's earned a long neck there.
Oh, he has indeed with the VB VB good hard beer is Vic.
There's been an update to that livery.
It has. What does it say on the side? For a hard-earned thirst,
Yep.
of course.
The pleb writing not there on the side as it was before. It still is a pleb sim sport machine though, as you can see from the bottom of the screen.
It's just not as branded as heavily as such.
Yeah, less Comic Sans.
I would probably, to quote Martin Brundle, I would say that probably turn 10 doesn't exist. You could just
others.
You could just fold that into turn 11.
It's hard to determine where one turn 9 starts and another one ends.
I mean, turn 9 is barely even like it's like the child that was drawing the track had a slight seizure, and just kind of went and like it's just a little jink.
If you're playing at home and you want to look at the map we're looking at, this one's from Wikipedia, Hidden Valley Raceway. Of course, I think most maps of this circuit identify the corners in much the same way.
And then turns 2 and 3.
But throw your votes in. Madbird's incredibly distressed about this.
I am.
Which corners do you consider corners and which ones don't? I think turn 1 doesn't exist.
I'd say that I would say that turn 1 is the only corner that I would categorically say does exist.
6?
6 does.
I think that would exist.
Look, turns.
Would you call turn 10 through 14 one corner?
No.
No, fair enough. So that you do draw a distinction.
I do. Well, because it then backs out and then goes back around again. So I would call turn 2 and 3 one corner.
Oh yeah.
I would call turns.
That's fair enough because they both go in the same direction. 2 and 3 are both right-handed.
And there's not really a stop. It like sort of slowly keeps curving.
Depends what kind of car you're driving.
Turn 9, I wouldn't call a turn in any way, shape or form. Turns 10 and 11 could be combined.
If we can just put a bookmark in on that.
Yes,
one.
do apologise. I'm getting quite passionate about this.
We've got a new livery this week for Colin Warwick, who I think they split with the Stealth Penrite operation and was running a blank livery at Sydney last time out, but now running the Blackshaws sponsorship there, which I understand is an auto body.
I was about to ask because I have absolutely no idea.
In the local area of Colin Warwick and his father Steve.
Lovely.
So that is why that is, and it's come up quite nicely actually. That car.
It does, yeah. It looks. For some reason, I thought of ice when I looked at it. Sort of got that white, blue, and grey about it that sort of looks a little bit like it like it's an ice company or of some description.
Now it hasn't shown up on your screen, but Matt Dunlop has actually sent us a message through on the live chat, watching along. G'day, Matt. If you can get through the corner at full speed with your rear wing missing, it's not a corner. That
sounds legit to me. I think that's a pretty full speed with your wing missing. Yeah, that's a pretty good metric, I reckon.
Yep.
I'd be happy to accede to that.
I mean,
or as they say in France, accede.
I think there are some straights that a car
would without a wing,
without a rear wing. Well, it depends on the car and how much.
That's very true.
Downforce it loses.
A Formula One car is liable to turn itself around if you try to go anything faster than.
Have you seen that clip of Kimi Raikkonen's rear wing flying off in Hockenheim in 2004? And the car just pitches itself straight into the fence. With literally the moment that the rear wing it flies off, it goes about 50 meters up in the air, and the car just spins backwards into the fence. Unbelievable.
I'm just imagining it being like one. You know those you get those like I think it's like a origami thing, but like you twist it up and then it goes. Choo! I'm imagining that, but with the rear wing.
Oh, and then that is remarkably accurate. What you're talking about.
And then his car just spears off because obviously the entire front of the car suddenly gets very draggy, and the back of the car has no drag at all. So it just wants to turn itself around. I wonder if you could reverse how fast you can reverse a Formula One car. That's something to test.
Well, I think it wouldn't be too hard to work out. You just got to find out what the gear ratios are and multiply that by the highest RPM
if you just
a Formula One car.
If you switch the wings, like if you switch the rake of the rings so that they're vice versa, the rear wing would probably still be draggier than the front wing, even if they were reversed, wouldn't they?
Yes, probably.
Because it's much bigger.
Yes, that would be the reason. Because it's bigger.
And also
bigger equals draggier.
And also most of the car would be blocking the drag for the front wing if it was reversing.
Given that they are solely designed for the purpose of going forwards. They actually get disqualified if they go backwards in some circumstances.
Yes. Yeah. No. Unless of course the option is between going backwards to do a 3-point turn or to go through an escape road, because we know escape roads for going into, reversing out of, and then driving away from, rather than going through.
Of course. Colin Warwick practicing his pit stops, and this is an important thing to bring up. We do have compulsory pit stop in every race tonight, and there is a new rule this particular round that on one of the races, all of the drivers will have to run the hard tyre as opposed to the soft tyre. Now, does that mean they won't have to pit? No, they still have to make a pit stop midway through. But whenever they pit, if that's the race they've nominated to use hard tyres, they'll have to stop for hard tyres. And there's not a real advantage to using the hard tyres because they're slower than a wet week, and they wear out just as quickly as the soft tyres, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of a strategic call of when you're going to penalise yourself essentially for a race, and if you're quick enough for it not to make a difference for your particular race, like the Dane Warrens of this world could probably lap quite comfortably fast enough on the hard tyres, but some of the maybe not so fast guys need the slow tyres to sort of drag them up there. But it should also mean we get some interesting results, Stairs.
Yeah, well, I mean, if Dane Warren was unlucky enough to pick the hard tyre on a race where several others picked the soft, he might struggle to win that race. You know, they're not that far away. Yes, he tends to be pretty dominant in qualifying, but I reckon it could be interesting. Having said that, we are yet to see Dane Warren, so we've had a few more.
2.5 minutes.
14 in the server at the moment. Zach Baker's just joined us in the last few moments. So good to see this grid growing as we approach qualifying just over 2 minutes from now.
Have we got qualifyings for each session, for each race?
Yeah, 10-minute session for each qualifying session, and 4 new soft sets for each race. Now the interesting thing there is that includes qualifying, so they'll get 4 new sets of tyres, which means that on the race that they're going to use the hard tyre, they could potentially qualify and just use up all their softs because they won't need any of them for the race. So that means they've got as many new sets of softs available to them as they want, because you wouldn't do more than 4 runs. I don't think you could do more than 3 runs, to be fair, in a qualifying session solely that is only 10 minutes in length. But for the session where they're using softs, they've got to save a couple of sets for the race.
He is absolutely correct. I was just having a look. Sorry, I was just having a look to see who our fast ones are at the moment. So Thomas McMillan's still at the top, and David Nedidich. Kind of surprising to see him so high up, because he's sort of been I won't say he's been the weaker partner of the ZB racing team. They've sort of had mixed fortunes in general this season so far, but I would say that Zach Baker's probably outperformed him. But looks like David Nedidich is on it tonight.
And they're both coming out of the pits right now. There is David Nedidich, and behind him is Zach Baker.
With a scant minute to go.
Yet to set a time, and probably won't get a chance to. So just getting his eye in what they would call an installation lap, if this was real life. But it's not, so there's no need to call it that.
Nope.
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 None of this pretending that when someone crashes, when their computer crashes, it's, oh no, you know, they've had a huge mechanical failure.
Must have had oil on his windscreen. Fuck off. Excuse me.
What? Sorry. We're a little bit rusty, Stairs, but we've got our eye in.
We've got 4 weeks of this, although you won't be joining us next week, so I've got to find someone to sub in for me next week.
Or otherwise, you could just do it yourself. I know you love the idea of commentating solo. A friend of ours, Lewis Wedding, I'm not sure if he still does, but he did a lot of commentaries for, I can't even remember the group's name.
Better not advertise them then. Watch ASC.
Another Australian sim racing group in Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Who shall not be named.
Because I honestly can't remember their name. But
yes.
he did a lot of solo commentaries for endurance races, and my goodness, he must. I would not be able to stand the sound of my own voice for that long, I don't think.
You get used to it.
I guess you do, but...
It's more that my voice starts to go if I'm speaking non-stop for too long.
Yeah, whenever we have like a small technical hiccup and your hands are flailing over the 3 keyboards, or sorry, the 3 keyboards, the 2 mice, and the sound setup we've got going, as you're trying to desperately fix some issue, and I'm having to ramble on for even a minute and a half or 2 minutes, starts to get a little bit achy on the old throat.
All right, well, that's the end of the practice session. Thomas McMillan heading the timesheets. And here's a look at this racetrack. Hidden Valley Raceway, 2.87 kilometres in length. It's a great little circuit, this one. Turn 1, there you go. Anti-clockwise direction. Turns 2 and 3, which are one corner according to Madbird. Turn 5, I'd say that's a real corner. Turn 6, we'll say that's a real corner. And here's where it starts to get a bit dicey. Turn 7, turn 8, turn 9.
Nope.
Turn 9's a left-hander though. So
yeah, it's barely a left.
No, but there's distance and there's a straight.
Those are the same. That's one corner.
Yeah. send in your votes. Which corners are, which corners aren't corners in Hidden Valley. I do like a circuit like that. As you saw, Ethan Warren was our qualifying pole sitter last time around, but as yet no Ethan Warren and no Dane Warren. So
no Warrens.
This could be very, very tasty.
They're lost down a Warren.
Yeah.
A rabbit Warren, that is. They're very twisty and can stretch for many kilometres. There's your rabbit fact for the day. Learn that in Watership Down.
Rabbit fact.
There's your rabbit fact.
Oh, there you go. I expect one each qualifying session.
Oh my goodness. I better get Googling.
So, starting to have a couple of cars making their way out into the pit lane now. The timer is at 10 minutes and they are not allowed to exit that pit lane until the light goes green. I'm just trying to see if we can find a shot of the light so that we can... Whoops. We can... Here it is.
Now there's the red light.
Well, no, I haven't shown it yet. There it is. Now it's green.
Oh, just in time.
Just in time. And cars start piling out onto the racetrack. Has anyone elected to stay? I think it's about half-half from what I can see so far.
Yeah, there's about
7
4
cars there.
Cars
8.
Still in the pits, I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah, really not many. Everyone sort of wants to get out there, and it is quite a short track, so lapped traffic might become an issue if that might impact your hot laps.
Brody Steen, I think, is the only... Oh, actually, there's a couple more. There's a bit of a delay on our live timing.
I reckon Stenny's still in there, Kurt Stenberg.
Michael Pollard's making his way out as well. We're looking at Benjamin Dahlia on the screen there at the moment. He is... Where is he? On just coming around turn 6 at the moment. So he's about the 4th car in queue. So we'll try and pick up Thomas McMillan because he is the 1st car in the queue. And looking like the form man at the moment, it has to be said.
Yeah, he seemed to be eager to get out there. He usually is. He's coming around the last corner now to slingshot himself onto this long start-finish straight. Very important, that last corner, to get a good run onto the straight. Runs parallel to the drag strip down the centre of the track. Not a old World War II British airfield, as we've said so many times in our Apex Brewing British Touring Car Championship. Flings it into the first corner and he screwed it up already.
Yeah, he's. You never know what you're going to get with Thomas McMillan. He's a bit like a box of chocolates. I think he's on form tonight. That was just a little bit, maybe just didn't quite get his preparation as good as he wanted in the warm-up lap for this particular flying lap. But
was
let's
certainly
see if he gathers it up.
That was the cherry ripe of the box of favourites.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Not a fan?
No. Let's hope that his next lap is the Morrow in the box.
We're learning about your favourite things,
and my not favourite corners or lack thereof. So he's going to have another shot at it by the looks of it. He's coming around that last corner yet again. It feels like I only just said this. It's a very, very short lap.
Of the 5 middle sectors we've seen so far, his is the fastest.
There you go. So he might have made a mare of the first corner. And really not too far down on his practice time, a 1.5 dead.
Yep, and it remains... Well, we're just waiting to see some more times. Colin Warwick slots in, David Nenovich in second, Benjamin Dahlia quite a ways back. Zach Baker wasn't far away, less than a tenth of a second, so that's very good. Dane Licciardo set a lap time that's no good for... Well, I wanted to throw him a bone there, but it just hasn't quite worked out for him. Kurt Stenberg is currently on a lap, and he waited a little bit before coming out. So this is his first flying lap, and he was only about half a tenth away.
Yeah, expect a very decent showing from Kurt Stenberg tonight, being that he built the track. Just got Matt Dunlop, my good friend, who's got some controversial opinions about biscuits and chocolates, it appears, because he's just come in and said, bloody hell, here we go. Moros are just Mars bars with the difficulty level increased. I'd say they're better than Mars bars. The chocolate tastes nicer, for one.
Kurt Stenberg goes to second, only 64 thousandths of a second down.
Just squeezed in front of Zach Baker by a hundredth of a second. Colin Warwick only good enough for fifth at the moment.
If my good friend James Donovan is watching, he bought some biscuits from, I think, or not biscuits, chocolate bars. They're sort of Snickers type, but
it's another one I don't rate.
Yeah, I know, but they're like the Aldi brand, and they were called Racer biscuits. But because of the plural, you call them Racers, and you'd be like, "Would you like some Racers?" And I'm like, "Well, come again."
I would love some Racers. Ideally at places other than Sochi. Regardless, yeah, not a fan of Snickers. I got an Aldi chocolate milk recently, and it was Ram brand. I've never seen before. And the
Ram brand, was it a work of art?
The branding on the the branding on the side said "Ram this down your throat," and that seems incredibly.
That's aggressive.
That is very aggressive.
See what Kurt can do, because we are in a qualifying session. He goes to the top. Bloody good lap there from
Sean Allen.
He was down through the middle sector.
Sean Allen as well has jumped up, because he is only 0.03 of a second down on Kurt Stenberg's time. So I'm not sure if he set that lap before or after Kurt Stenberg. But
Thomas McMillan's in the pits, so he doesn't have an immediate right of reply.
Got 5 minutes left in this session, so a few laps still on the table.
See what Brody Steen can do as he comes to the line. Currently set up in 8th place, and 8th place becomes
8th place. Doesn't become anything. It doesn't metamorphosize into a beautiful 7th place.
If you talk something up, there's a chance that you could watch something brilliant. More often than not, it's an anticlimax.
Yes, indeed. Matty and I have a lot of experience doing exactly that.
Top 3 are all in the pits right now.
So they're confident.
Zach Baker he's just finished a lap. Might be on a cool down. Let's see what David Nemedic can do this particular occasion.
Well, he's 21 seconds down on his best time.
Well, let's cut away from that. It's clearly an out. It's clearly a cool down, or he's just made a mistake. Colin Warwick, 6th place. He was doing pretty well, matching PBs throughout this lap, and indeed does improve on his PB, but he's got a long way to go to get anywhere near Pulsar to Kurt Stenberg. How far away from David Nemedic? Still about a tenth away. It can be hard to find around this sort of circuit.
Hasn't helped himself flying off the track. Yeah, with these short circuits, it's always quite difficult to find places where you can gain time, because there's really not many places to gain time. So every tenth or two is very, very important. Colin Warwick getting well out of the way of Benjamin Dahlia, so very good on him. Benjamin Dahlia currently about a tenth down on his personal best.
So the top 3, Sean Allen has taken to the track, so he's currently on an out lap. I wonder. I think the other 2 might be keeping their powder dry for their last run late, hoping for a bit of track evolution.
Cross those fingers. Heath Dixon, our good friend, saying, is this the top split? This is the main game.
You know it is.
Of ASC. We do have quite a few call-ups from the Super 2 category though, so... Thanks
for watching, Heath.
Yeah, good to see you, matey.
Keep us company for a bit. Benjamin Dahlia to the line, currently sat in 7th place. What can he do? This is a bit of a trend in this qualifying session. They find a little bit of time, but not enough.
Not enough to improve their
position. Now,
Ninja brethren,
let's go back to Sean Allen. He's just about to start a lap. Can he improve? He's not very far away from Kurt Stenberg at all. Just 0.03 of a second. That's remarkably close.
And at least Heath is only here until Flight Simulator finishes his download. I am jealous.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Got to get myself a HOTAS.
Ooh, Kurt Stenberg's coming out of the pits as well, so...
he's going to give himself a couple of laps to be able to plant some lap times. Hopefully hold on to that pole position for his sake. His championship defence is not going as well as he probably would have hoped so far this season.
Although Dane Warren absent might help it a little bit.
Very much so. So Sean Allen close, just about 7/100ths of a second down on his personal best.
He won't be thrilled with that. Kurt Stenberg's come out actually in front of Thomas McMillan. We're looking at that on our other screen.
Oh, he's getting out of the way.
He was getting out of the way because Thomas McMillan is actually on a lap as well. But Sean Allen more advanced in his lap, and it doesn't look to be going that well. He's mighty close, actually. In fact, he must have made a mistake on his best lap because he's down on his PB by a 10th. But he's only a few thousandths away from the pole time set by Kurt Stenberg, so this is going to be mighty close for Sean Allen. Can he nab provisional pole with a few minutes left in the session? Oh. He does it by a 0.5 of a second. This is getting spicy.
So he basically gained a 1/10 of a second on his previous time because he was about 0.5 behind Kurt Stenberg before. Kurt Stenberg currently just finishing his outlap.
Just going to watch the end of Thomas McMillan's lap to see if he can improve. He's third at the moment.
No.
And he does not improve.
Enough time for 2 more laps if he's got the fuel for it.
Alright, well, let's see what Kurt Stenberg can do. Sean Allen, meanwhile, is also improving again on what he's already done. So this is going to be a very intriguing end to this qualifying session.
You can see just how hard he's having to brake to get it turned in for that corner. It's wiggling under the braking pressure. Coming in through the, as Heathy says, who's watching in August 2020. As he's up on his personal best by 3/100ths of a second.
But so is Sean Allen. He's up by 7/100ths through the middle sector to the line. He is most likely going to improve on his lap time and going to move the goalpost to over a 10th.
Oh,
no, he's lost it all in the final sector. Talked it up, didn't I? Kurt Stenberg. It's all about this final sector for Kurt Stenberg. Can he steal pole position away from Sean Allen? He's nowhere near it. He's 10th down. He's got to have an absolutely mega final sector, and I don't know that he's got it in it. Sean Allen is not going to have another lap. He's pulled over, so this is the moment. Can Kurt Stenberg steal pole position from Sean Allen?
And he's going to just not have enough time. It's just ticked over to 0 now as he crossed the line. So he is not able to set another lap time, and he's going to have to settle for second unless Thomas McMillan or someone out there can steal that position away from him. But I don't think they can. I think everybody who is likely to has already finished their laps. Colin Warwick here just pulling into the pits and forfeiting that particular lap.
Great job, Sean Allen.
Good lord, yeah, that was came out of nowhere at the end. That's he's been solid all season though, so very good to see him with a pole position here for race number 1.
Absolutely. So Sean Allen takes pole position in the end by only just over 0.5 of a second from Kurt Stenberg. Thomas McMillan in 3rd place, about a 1/4 of a second down on pole position. Zach Baker in 4th. David Nenadich in 5th. Colin Warwick will line up in 6th place ahead of Benjamin Dahlia. Alex Cattle in 8th place. Brody Steen and RSM Latino will round out the top 10 for race 1 at Hidden Valley.
I'm very much looking forward to it. Do we want to have a quick little break, Steve?
Yeah, I think we will. So we'll see you guys after the break. Don't go anywhere.
All the information you want about the Automobilista Supercars Championship is now all in one place. Visit asc.rocksolidmates.com for all the official ASC content, including season calendars, results and championship points, broadcast information, rules and regulations, lap records and more. You can also get updates on our official ASC Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell notification icon to get notified whenever we go live for all championship races.
The Automobilista Supercars Championship is proudly brought to you by RSM, Rock Solid Mates, ARW, Apex Rear Wing, CW, Colin Warwick Designs, and Jinx Shifters.
Welcome back to Hidden Valley Raceway. We've just seen Sean Allen take pole position from Kurt Stenberg. No Dane Warren tonight, which is an opportunity for the other drivers to grab some wins and some much needed points. Sean Allen is definitely in the hunt to close down that championship lead that Dane Warren has over him and make it very, very interesting indeed.
Indeedy do. And Sean Allen currently putting himself in the best position with his, I reckon that would be his first pole position of the season. I don't want to throw you under the bus, but
I think Dane Warren's actually got. It seems ridiculous to say, but I think he's got all of them.
I think he has every pole position, at least of every race that he's participated in. I can't think if he's not shown up for a race or something in the past, but I'm pretty sure he's been here for most races so far this season. Anyway, that's something for me to be wrong about later. In the meantime, we have got a warm-up session, and we've got a...
No, we're not looking at that.
And Colin Warwick just doing some practice starts in the pits.
That's a reminder of where we are.
Is that the Northern Territory flag?
It is the Northern Territory flag.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
That's it.
I'll be 100% honest. What's that on the right meant to be?
I believe it's an indigenous something.
Okay, well now I feel...
It does have cultural significance.
Now I feel like an ass for being like, what's that supposed to be? Of course I recognise the Southern Cross on the left because that's a true blue Aussie icon, but what's this dot shit on the right? I take all that back. Shannon's Club.
Your words.
Shannon's Club, as you can see in the background as well.
Oh yeah, you recognise that too.
that's a Northern Territory icon, and indeed an Australia-wide icon. Let's move swiftly on.
Oh, okay. I hadn't set up the next shot, but anyway.
Oh, please do. We've got a
what?
As we've got a lovely panning shot here. Of,
that's not panning. That's
tracking
backwards. Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Speaking of tracking, that guy looks like he's not very well textured.
That's all right. Nothing but negativity for the locals. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
My goodness. Heath Dixon in the chat saying Mac Mittens for the win after starting from third. Heathy, I've got the feeling that you're not taking this 100% seriously, unlike us, who obviously are. Colin Warwick just doing some practice laps, hoping to improve on his 6th place starting position.
Right, I need to get rid of those names.
Cab.
No, I've changed it. So let's watch Colin Warwick. I can't remember how well he did last round. Last time in Hidden Valley?
It was so long. How long? When was that, Stairs? I'm trying to think.
It would have been around about July, I think, last year.
My goodness, over a year.
It's all been...
Where did July 2020 go, Stairs?
In the bin.
Because it just...
That's where it belongs.
It just seemed to disappear.
Yeah, good riddance. So pretty much...
What happened to you in July?
Oh, just more of the same, you know. The same excrement, but a different rotation of the Earth.
Fair enough. My goodness, I didn't know you were... like you learning about my strong opinions on corners, I'm learning about your strong opinion on July 2020.
I think the whole thing just applies to this year.
Oh, just the year in general?
Yeah.
Fair enough. That I can understand.
You know, when you do an awful lot of work to prepare for a year and then it all gets thrown in.
Of course, you wouldn't have been in Australia during July, would you, upstairs?
It would have been. Yeah, well, you would have already hosted one of these broadcasts, actually.
Yeah, thank God that didn't have to happen.
All right. I need to find out how to do just some technical things, if you could fill for time for a few months.
No, that's absolutely fine. So what we've got here is a very exciting shot of Colin Warwick in the pits. Never mind, it's just disappeared as they've gone to the race. And we had 2 hours on the clock there for a split second. We definitely won't take that long to do 19 laps around Hidden Valley.
All right, stick this in your diaries. Benjamin Dahlia, Lachlan Horan, Dane Licciardo, Alex Cattle, and Colin Warwick are going for hard tyres in the first race of the night. So they're getting their getting their pain out of the way.
So Colin Warwick, the highest placed of those, in 6th place. So yeah, he's getting the pain out of the way early. Look at that formation of wild cards that you just cut away from.
Well,
that looks
if
like
any of them do well, we won't know which one it is.
They'll share the glory.
They will share the glory.
Robotic Idiots saying, I am going for 888, my brother. Who's 888 out there? I'm trying to think. I know who that is. Someone's 888. But they are off Are you going through this, Stairs, or am I?
We'll let you do that with this one.
No worries. So Sean Allen leads off with a commanding pole position, 0.05 of a second over Kurt Stenberg, who is in second place. Behind him is Thomas McMillan in the VB Sim Sports car. So he will be hoping to have a similarly dramatic battle like he had with Kurt Stenberg last time out. In fourth place will be Zach Baker, followed by the other ZB Racing Mustang of David Nedich. Behind them, starting from sixth and taking the pain of the hard tyres early, is Colin Warwick. Behind him, Benjamin D'Alia, who is also taking the pain of those hard tyres, starting from seventh place.
Can you send that to me?
If it's
message it to Facebook.
I appear to have not actually taken the photo,
good.
which is very good.
Well,
oh no, there it is. I got it.
So who's after Benjamin Dahlia?
After Benjamin Dahlia,
See, while you're sending that to me,
RSM Latino,
who is in
place.
the RSM Rock Solid Mates car.
Yeah, and he is actually using hard tyres as well. Alex Cattle also using the hard tyres, starting from 9th. In 10th place is Brody Steen, not on the hard tyres, he's on the softs. Lachlan Horan starting with the hard tyres. That is the one that Robotic Idiots is going for. Good on him. Behind him is the next wildcard driver of Michael Pollard. And behind him, two more wildcard drivers of Stenny and Dane Licciardo, who's also on the hard tyres.
Dramatically well done.
Thank you. Specifically dramatically.
Exactly. Sean Allen is now in place, and we're just waiting for a few of the guys up the back end of the grid to grid up. And then we'll be ready to get underway. There they are from afar. That's the view from turn one. Who's going to get the better start? Sean Allen, very, very well placed indeed. But Kurt Stenberg, can he get the whole shot? Lights are on. And here we are racing in Darwin.
Oh.
It is a great start from Thomas McMillan, who tries to find his way up the middle, but the gap closes and they're jostling. Sean Allen had an absolute nightmare start, but look at Thomas McMillan. He is going to... Oh, I thought he had the inside, but it's Kurt Stenberg who ends up getting the whole shot. A pair of Zach Baker cars are fighting back against Sean Allen, and look at... That's quite a good start from Colin Warwick, starting on the hard tyres, it has to be said.
It is, yeah. He's managed to jump one of the ZB Racing guys, which one of them, I think Zach Baker, is currently looking like he's wanting to line up Sean Allen coming into the hairpin at turn number 6. But he's not. Oh, he tries to go down the inside, gives him a little tap. Sean Allen saves it.
It was messy.
Well and truly, that was a little bit messy. Meanwhile, at the front, Kurt Stenberg and Thomas McMillan already with about a second gap over Sean Allen. And Thomas McMillan just obviously desperate to get that first place position.
Yeah, well, Sean Allen's going to have to ease his way into this race. He was not one of our hard tyre runners, was he?
No, he's soft tyres, so currently the highest placed hard tyre runner is still Colin Warwick down in 5th place. But Zach Baker was actually who lost out.
Oh, we've got someone backwards at the back of the shot. Let's we'll try and find a replay of what happened there.
Dane Licciardo, I reckon it is, because he's right at the back of the field and that gap is growing. So we'll see if we can get a replay of that. Meanwhile, watching this battle still, Sean Allen now defending for his life against Dane Warren. Oh, sorry, not Dane Warren, against David Nedich.
Here is
Dane Warren wishes he was here.
Still recovering and going straight into the pits, so fortuitous location for that accident there by Dane Licciardo. Let's see if he got any help as Zach Baker goes down the inside of Sean Allen. Sorry, David Nedich goes down the inside of Sean Allen.
Yeah, Sean Allen looks like he's managed to hold him off as they go side by side again through turn 7. And if David Nedich can hang there, then he will have the inside. And it looks like he has. He's managed to get that position done over the bumpy turns 8 and 10. 9 and 10. But Sean Allen going up the inside. They're switching back and forth. And Sean Allen's going to come out the better of it at the last corner.
This is the Hidden Valley we remember.
But David Nedich then will have the drag all the way down this long strip. It's not surprising they've got a drag strip in the middle of it. It's very long. And Dane Licciardo has got a drive-through penalty, probably for speeding in the pit lane, as we've got another wild card in the background.
Oh, no!
Almost an exact replica of the accident Dane Licciardo had.
Oh, look at that!
Sean Allen goes deep.
bolts wide. A moment there for David Nedich. Nenadic, who lets his teammate Zach Baker take a turn at the front of this battle, and Colin Warwick must be thinking all his Christmases is coming at once. They're all falling off the road and he's on the hard tyre keeping up.
I was about to say, he doesn't seem to be struggling too much on those harder tyres. He's actually gaining on Sean Allen, coming down towards the hairpin. It looks like he was going to have a dive for the inside, but he thinks better of it. And they all slot in one behind the other. At the front, Thomas McMillan still on the back of Kurt Stenberg, 0.2 of a second.
Here is a replay of Jane Licciardo. It's happened on the first lap. We've had a replica of that from one of the other cars. I think it's Michael Pollard, because he's also a similar distance back on the back of the field. But all sorts of stuff kicking off later on in that battle. Meanwhile, Kurt Stenberg still leads Thomas McMillan by about 0.2 of a second at the front of this race.
It's only been 4 laps, my goodness. Sean Allen and David Nenadic on that last lap just having completely different, but both damaging little excursions here at the first corner as they're going through now. David Nenadic goes very deep. So does Colin Warwick off the track.
Replay.
Colin Warwick off the track, and he has undone all of his good work. Benjamin Dahlia saving a big hunky grab of oversteer coming through the first corner as Sean Allen is taking that position back from David Nenadic.
This is just a replay of what happened a few laps ago. This is this was the all sorts of messy stuff that happened down there at turn 1. So remarkable stuff.
Remarkable stuff indeed. As we saw Dane Licciardo got another drive-through penalty, presumably while serving his first drive-through penalty. So that's a double whammy of disillusionment for Dane Licciardo. Meanwhile, Sean Allen just got the ZB brigade right on his rear as they come around the last corner. Colin Warwick, after that excursion at turn 1's dropped down to 7th. So back to worse than his starting position on those hard tyres.
There you go, Thomas McMillan having a little bit of a look, but too far back to affect the overtake. This was the battle that went on for about 20 laps last year in one of the races. It wasn't for the lead, but this year it appears as though it is. So the stakes have been upped.
They have indeed, and look, they're on the edge of cohesion, or adhesion even.
Edge of cohesion is us.
Coming through turns 4 and into 5. Kurt Stenberg goes very deep at the hairpin, but seems to get an incredible drive off of it as a result, and Thomas McMillan can't do anything with it, and he's just seems to be hovering at about that 0.2 of a second back from Kurt Stenberg, and is struggling to reel him in any closer. They're coming up on a back marker. That would be, I think, Michael Pollard.
That is Michael Pollard indeed, in 14th and last place. Unfortunate, actually, that he's gone behind Dane Licciardo. Dane Licciardo, he must have had a lot of damage. So he was the car we saw on the second lap, spinning at the final corner. Michael Pollard, that is. Dane Licciardo spun there at the end of the first lap, and now does his best to try and get out of the way of the leaders. They might have been a little bit unsure what he was doing there, but he ended up just going slightly deep on purpose to get through.
Yeah, well done. And Thomas McMillan right on the chuff of Kurt Stenberg.
It's hard to know where to look, Madbird.
It is. Always look at the lead battle, Stairs. Always look at the lead battle.
Yeah, but there's stuff going on for third. Sean Allen does not have it all his own way. David Nenadic has quite an enormous turn of speed tonight. So
he seems to be the ascendant of the ZB drivers, which he'd be enjoying very much. Thomas McMillan still, he just can't seem to close that gap down any closer.
Yeah, so it's all as it was. It's been these positions for quite a number of laps, but certainly not for lack of trying on the part of Thomas McMillan and David Nenadic. Zach Baker a little bit further back, not quite able to live with this pace, but definitely there to take advantage of anything that goes wrong. And the tyres have also come into the types of temperatures that they were hoping they would. We've got Alex Cattle driving into the pit lane in the back of shot there. And who else? Colin Warwick.
Down into 12th.
I wonder if that's pit stop.
Possibly. There is someone in the pits at the moment. Brody Steen.
Alex
Cattle, sorry.
Who I just mentioned.
Who you did just mention. So I'm doing what you usually do. And mentioning things that you've mentioned just recently beforehand. Man, this battle between Thomas McMillan and Kurt Stenberg, they're not really giving each other much space, but Thomas McMillan just doesn't seem to have the ability to close that gap, as small as that gap might be.
Looks like it was a pit stop for Colin Warwick. Status pitted on our live timing screen.
There we go. So he is on the hard tyres, so he's getting the pain out of the way early. And
he has to switch to hard tyres, so he's still on hard tyres.
Yeah, but I mean, for races 2 and 3, he won't have to be on the hard tyres.
Correctamundo.
So, very well done.
Thank you. So this is looking like the closest battle on track. The one behind is just...
When did Sean Allen lose that position?
He's been behind for a number of laps.
No, he gained it back just before, because David Enedich was punting him through the hairpin, and I was about to say something, but it didn't come to anything. So that position is swapped. If I'm not mistaken, that is swapped a couple of times. Now Sean Allen's 3rd and now 4th place. I'm going to die on this hill stairs. I'll go back at the foot.
I'm not. I don't have the. I don't have the confidence in my own memory to refute it. But I don't remember Sean Allen being ahead.
Well,
apart from that big sort of moment where he lost the position in the first place.
You have done a lot of amphetamines, so your memory is
it's not speedy.
Unlike the amphetamines. Thomas McMillan in the pits. So he may be going for the undercut on Kurt Stenberg.
Yes, interesting.
Well,
that's 8 laps in, so he's taken it just a little bit short of the halfway mark. So Thomas McMillan...
It's a big shadow that car casts on the stand above it.
Naturally, the sun shines from underneath in Darwin.
Well, it is at the top of the country, so the sun obviously comes from the red centre.
Thomas McMillan on the move, and naturally our eyes turn towards Kurt Stenberg to see whether he comes directly into the pits. He's down at turn 6 right now.
I wonder what the tyre drop-off is. We do have it on...
times 2.
On times 2 wear, so would probably be starting to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. They were talking about this when we had that tyre disaster in Sydney where they all fell off the
Exploded.
racetrack. But the tyres they tend to keep their pace relatively well throughout their life, even when there's not much of it left. And then they fall off a cliff, sort of Pirelli 2012 style. And it looks like Kurt Stenberg...
No.
Oh, I thought he was coming in. They drive very, very close to the right-hand side. There must be some reason for that. I wonder if there's some hacks in there. Kurt's built into the racetrack. Certainly Thomas McMillan seemed to know about that. We saw him doing that in the practice session.
I thought he was half in the guardrail, to be honest, based off of how close he looked.
Let's look at some lap times.
You can't see my co-commentator stairs, but he's currently hands on his knees like an elderly man, staring at the live races information.
He was a tenth faster through the middle sector.
That's good.
That's
Lovely.
Thomas McMillan we're talking about.
So the new tyres are helping him at the moment. He was only like 2 or 3 tenths behind Kurt Stenberg, remember, so it won't take too much for him to gain that position in theory anyway.
Yeah, in theory 2 or 3 tenths, that would be enough, and my goodness, that would be tasty. Zach Baker has a drive-through penalty. Now Zach Baker, that's for speeding in the pit lane, I should think, because he is just coming out of the pit lane on our live timing screen. Does Kurt Stenberg pit Madbird? He's got a bit of traffic to contend with.
So he seems to be running long.
I don't think he's going to catch that traffic on this lap. If he does, it'll be disastrous for him.
I don't know, that wild card's not too far ahead. You can see him just disappearing into the foreground of that shot.
22.6, 20... we're still waiting for more middle sector times.
Kurt's going to catch this wild card coming through the middle and last sector, I reckon.
So that's Lachlan Horan, I think. He was the one who was missing. Sorry,
Robotic
Pollard.
Idiot. So it's not Lachlan Horan who Robotic Idiots is going for. Lachlan Horan currently in 12th place.
Oh, he's deep at 6. I wonder if he was distracted. The car gets out the way of...
Thomas McMillan just set the fastest lap of this race with a 105.1.
That was indeed Michael Pollard. Now 3 laps down, so struggling with a lot of damage. And they matched each other to the first sector on the last lap. 22.7 was the middle sector for Kurt Stenberg. That might be costly because 22.1 for Thomas McMillan, fastest middle sector of the race. That might be the lead for Thomas McMillan unless Kurt Stenberg can have a mighty good pit stop.
Yeah, he does. He's got less fuel to put in the car, I suppose, in theory. No, because it's the same distance. There's no fuel.
It's just tyres.
It's just tyres.
They have to change 2 tyres minimum. So Kurt in the pits. Thomas McMillan is just coming through the final sector now, but he was 7/10 faster on the middle sector on the last lap.
I wonder if Thomas McMillan would have changed all 4 tyres or just 2 of them. There's only a requirement for 2. Kurt Stenberg's already leaving his pit box as Thomas McMillan is coming around the last corner. Kurt Stenberg just leaving the pits now, but still can't accelerate to full speed.
He's going to lose it.
He's going to lose that lead there. You can see Thomas McMillan slicing into the lead, and that is actually quite an advantage to Thomas McMillan's side as they've come out of the pits. That's about 2.5 seconds.
Deep.
Oh,
Kurt Stenberg bowls it wide, Fabian Coulthard style at the first corner.
Oh, no.
Unbelievable. That's going to lose him a fair chunk of time, but he will have much fresher tyres till the end of the race. He's got to reel that gap in.
3.7 seconds it is following that little blunder. Maybe wasn't expecting Thomas McMillan to be as far ahead as he was. Sean Allen is currently still in the lead, but has not pit yet and continues not to do so.
Interesting.
So he's got a 23.5 second lead over second place man Thomas McMillan. I wish I'd taken note of how long that pit stop took, but I did not. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that shakes out. Thomas McMillan currently in provisional lead by about 4 seconds.
McMittens is...
I think that's Thomas McMillan.
Yeah,
I figured
I'm figuring that out now.
McMillan is McMittens.
Well,
so.
He's not in the lead yet, Heath.
Provisional
he
lead.
will be when Sean Allen takes service from the pit crew.
I bet he gets serviced by the pit crew.
So Kurt Stenberg with it all to do in these, I guess, I wouldn't say closing stages. There's still 6 laps to go, so we're about 2/3 through. Kurt pitting at the end of lap 11, I think it was, and then lap 8 was Thomas McMillan's pit stop lap. So he'll have to do a solid 11 laps on his set of tyres, whereas Kurt Stenberg, the number be far smaller.
The number be far smaller.
Now, Sean Allen is now in pits, race leader.
The number for Sean Allen be smaller still. It'll be, 5 laps by the time he exits the pits.
I feel like the advantage of doing a strategy like this would be much more pronounced if there was a more linear drop-off in the tyre.
Yeah, rather than a wall. Thomas McMillan, coming down the start-finish straight, you just saw him shoot ahead. There he goes. Of Sean Allen and Kurt Stenberg there. So will Sean Allen retain his 3rd position? It looks like he will.
Slot in. I reckon it's going to be close.
I reckon David Nedovich has got that position because he still can't accelerate.
Yeah.
He's got to wait for an extraordinarily long time until he hits that line, and then he can start to accelerate.
So he's in a similar position to Kurt Stenberg in that he was battling with David Nedovich. Well, Thomas McMillan was who Kurt Stenberg was battling with. But each driver who was second to pit in these battles, the one for first and the one for second, extended their first stint quite a lot in order to try and get a bit of a tyre advantage towards the back end. At the moment, it looks like it's not playing out well for either of those two people later.
No, especially not Sean Allen. He's got about almost just under 8 seconds to gain on Sean Allen.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, no.
Huge problem getting around the traffic. It's hard really to get out of the way through that section because of all the corners.
Oh, and we've had another accident there maybe. We've got some skid marks on the inside and a wild card missing a bonnet.
I think that's Pollard.
Pollard has poleaxed the wall, potentially once again, and he pulls across in front of Kurt Stenberg, and off the track. Okay.
Oh, it might be Licciardo actually, because Pollard is not at that part of the track right
No DNF stairs, despite a couple of hefty accidents.
Not for lack of trying.
There's no one's actually thrown in the towel yet, which is good to see. It's all points.
Oh, absolutely. Points go down to the mythical 20. Oh, you just said it.
Oh, no. Why did I say it? Michael Pollard has DNF'd from this race, so I very much apologise for that.
Probably good from his point of view. I think he was starting to be a bit of a liability with the damage that he was clearly carrying from that early crash.
Re-energise and get back in there for race number 2.
Stenny is another one of the wild cards with missing his bonnet, so that might help you with identification purposes.
Except all of them are missing their bonnets.
Well, Pollard, who was one of the other ones missing his bonnet, is now in the garage, so it's not really... It's
still
really
3 of them.
Something that you need to commit to memory. Horan still has his bonnet.
Oh, he does. Very well done to Lachlan Horan.
I think so does Licciardo, so I apologise to Dane Licciardo, who I suggested might have crashed before. his car is still in a very shiny condition.
Well, he did crash, but they presumably replaced the bonnet.
Not in a bad. Oh, did he crash?
Yeah, he was the one on lap 1, remember?
I thought that was...
No, that was Dane Licciardo. Shawsies. Michael Pollard on lap 2, I believe. And then presumably they've taken it in turns since then.
Tenth of a second, Kurt Stenberg took out the...
Yeah, he's got it under 2 seconds.
This is me clutching at straws.
He's got it under 2 seconds now. You can see the gap is coming down, but he's only got 2 and a bit laps to get the job done. 3 and a bit laps. Even I always struggle to figure out maths, just in general. Yes, that's why I gave up maths as soon as I possibly could.
How's that going for you?
That's fine, honestly. Yeah, calculators exist.
Well, it's not like you're going to be carrying one in your pocket for the rest of your life. In every scenario. What a ridiculous thought that would be.
What a ridiculous thought. I wish I could have told my maths teachers that, you know, all of this you're teaching me is going to be irrelevant.
Hindsight is bad year.
What?
Oh, sorry, hindsight is 2020.
Ah, lovely. Yeah.
Lovely jubblies. What else we got on this racetrack? Colin Warwick. He was, so Brody Steen's on soft, isn't he? No, he's on hards.
No, Brody Steen is on softs.
You're right, okay.
Colin Warwick is still the highest placed man on hards in 6th place, which is his starting position indeed.
That bodes well for him.
Kurt Stenberg almost under a second now, 1.2 seconds, so he's brought down that gap down by about 6/10 on the last lap. He is reeling him in, but I don't think he's going to have enough time stairs. And it's not an easy track to overtake on.
Well, he'll give it a good go.
Mick Racing 16, I'm assuming, is Michael Pollard. Yeah, as you boys said, I was a liability, so I'll count myself out. Have I got race number 2? Good on you, mate.
No, we're just saying you're a liability with the damage. We certainly do want to see you in there.
Yeah, get back out,
3. Yeah. Just in a holding pattern, really, aren't we? Waiting for the end of this race.
Yeah, Kurt Stenberg is slowly whittling that gap down, but again, I don't think he's got enough time. So it's just hovering at a second now, just dipping under a second, 0.8 of a second now, as the newer tyres are clearly having a good time through the hard braking zones of turns 5 and 6. You can see he's closed up almost half a second in just those 2 corners. And there's only a lap left to run, but this is getting mighty close. It's under half a second now between Kurt Stenberg and Thomas McMillan.
Yeah, it's actually the thick end. It's 0.7 of a second on the last lap.
Small lock up as well for Thomas McMillan, so go ahead.
He's got 1 lap to do it, and he's really found pace on that last lap. Kurt Stenberg is going to have a real opportunity here with 1 lap remaining in this race. This is on.
He is. Thomas McMillan leads him right over to the inside wall. He's he's going for the very defensive line. Kurt Stenberg goes for the outside. Thomas McMillan goes out to push him a little bit wider. A little bit of a wiggle from Thomas McMillan as they're almost side by side coming through turn 1, then line astern. Kurt Stenberg almost pushing Thomas McMillan through the corner, and they're off down towards the turn 5, heading on towards the hairpin.
Oh, here we go. Is he going down the inside? There's no defence there from Thomas McMillan. Kurt Stenberg is yet to win a race this year. Thomas McMillan has won a race. They both want it just as much. It's neck and neck going into the turn 6 hairpin. This is the moment where Thomas McMillan spun last time. Can Kurt get up underneath him through the final sector? It's absolutely neck and neck.
Oh, he's pushed
onto the grass goes Thomas McMillan and off, out of the race. And Kurt Stenberg is going to win this race. He's slowing down. Is he going to redress? Oh, I wonder if he blames himself for that accident. Thomas McMillan is only just ahead of 3rd place man David Nenadic. This is mighty interesting. Kurt Stenberg is crawling through the final sector. He's trying to redress. It might be David Nenadic who wins this race. I can't believe what I'm looking at. This is going to be an absolute dead heat. Who's going to win? Is it going to be Tom? Is it going to be Dave? Is it going to be Kurt? Oh, it's Thomas.
Oh,
with 7,000 of a second. Kurt's redressed the position with precision.
My goodness.
And David Nenadic still finishes 3rd. He could probably feel fairly hard done by after that.
7,000ths of a second between Thomas McMillan and Kurt Stenberg, so he couldn't have made that any closer if he tried.
Wow.
But there must have been heavier contact than it looked like from our angles coming through, because it looked pretty like just a little bit of bumping, to be honest. But he's done the right thing from his point of view. Thomas McMillan got the win. And my goodness, what a way to end that race, Des.
That's a finish. That's going in the highlights reel.
Heathy in the chat just saying, no, not like this.
Like this.
Presumably while that was happening. And David Nedelich, yeah, just very, very, very close at the end there. Less than 0.2 of a second between himself and Kurt Stenberg, which seems like a lot when you're talking about racing cars, but when you saw it happen, it really wasn't. Kurt Stenberg had to slice himself in there like a piece of cheese between two very fast pieces of bread.
Sean Allen must have had some issue towards the end of that race because he ended up 16 seconds adrift of this first, second, third battle, which all finished within
only just ahead of his teammate
second.
Brody Steen.
Yeah, but yeah, something to be dissected there because he was the pole sitter. But enormous congratulations to Thomas McMillan. Very well run race. And Heath Dixon, I think that says it all class from Stenny, and it's hard to disagree with that. Absolute class from the championship leader. Still yet to win a race this year, but he has a very good chance tonight.
He does. I wonder if they will learn from this and perhaps Thomas McMillan won't go so early on the tyres next time around, although the undercut is what gave him that position in the first place. So it's actually looking like it might be quite interesting, the strategy tonight, says. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a good little addition, I think. I reckon we're on a winner.
We are. As you can see on your screen there, if you feel like giving us $1 or $2 a month, hop over onto patreon.com/ApexRearWing. It does take a lot of effort on our behalf, but mainly Stairs' to put these shows on, and he does an absolutely cracking job of it. So if you want to show us your support, then we'd greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Automobilista Supercars Championship, and us, Apex Rear Wing, as the broadcasters as well. And that's race number 1 of the Triple Crown, Stairs.
Absolutely is. If race 2 and race 3 are anything like that, you can rest assured they're going to be worth watching. We'll see you in a few moments.
All the information you want about the Automobilista Supercars Championship is now all in one place. Visit asc.rocksolidmates.com for all the official ASC content, including season calendars, results and championship points, broadcast information, rules and regulations, lap records and more. You can also get updates on our official ASC Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell notification icon to get notified whenever we go live for all championship races.
The Automobilista Supercars Championship is proudly brought to you by RSM, Rock Solid Mates, ARW, Apex Rear Wing, CW, Colin Warwick Designs, and Jinx Shifters.
Well, welcome back to this fantastic racetrack, Hidden Valley Raceway. We're just collecting our breath after what has been a remarkable end to race 1. Slightly hypoxic after that, just regulating my breathing. And and we'll be good to go for race 2, Madbird.
Absolutely, I know what you mean. Yeah, that was that end was like sort of came out of nowhere, and goodness me, I look forward to hopefully some more of that.
Well, it was a great chase from Kurt Stenberg. The only thing he did wrong was the little bit of contact which sent Thomas McMillan off the racetrack. But apart from that, his strategy was on point, I think. We had sort of written it off midway through the race, but it came good towards the end. Thomas McMillan's tyres just falling away from him at the end of that race. And it was Kurt Stenberg who was on the attack, but the trouble is he only had 1 lap to do it, and that puts a lot of pressure, and in the end it was Thomas McMillan who prevailed.
It was, yeah. That undercut from Thomas McMillan did work out quite well, must be said. He came out about 2 seconds ahead of Kurt Stenberg, and without that gap, Kurt Stenberg getting right out there, not wasting any time in this qualifying session, although his arch nemesis Thomas McMillan has beaten him out there, as you can see there.
Oh yeah? Didn't have enough of it in the first race.
This looks familiar.
Just a little bit.
So, and there is, of course, the question of the hards. Neither of these guys have been on the hards yet.
Loving the banter in the live chat there from Heath Dixon.
He's doing his. How much longer you got on your flight simulator? download their Heathy.
I think you should settle in for the night. Maybe White Sim can go tomorrow.
Maybe. I do need to get myself a Hotaz though, legit. To use the lingo that the kids teach me. I don't know which kids I'm talking about. I don't associate with children. That makes me sound weird.
Any predictions before race 2?
I appreciate the way you pronounce that.
Well, you know, they call them predictions because they occur before the race.
Well, my prediction is...
if it was after the race, it would be called a post-diction.
A post-diction, yeah. That would be called hindsight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Post-diction is 2020.
Yep. And no hindsight survives first contact with 2020 no-scopes. I reckon Kurt Stenberg for the win in race number 2.
Yeah, it has he.
The bloody downloader slowed to nothing. That's a damn shame. I reckon Kurt Stenberg will take a win.
Okay, yep.
Race number 2. And I reckon Sean Allen for 2nd. And Thomas McMillan in the wall.
Alright, he's going to stick it in the wall after victorious.
After being absolutely flawless, I think it's fair to say, in that first race.
Like I said, you never know what you're going to get with him. He's a box of chocolates.
And you know, cherry ripes and Morrows, regardless of what Matt Dunlop says about Morrows being more difficult Mars bars.
So that's his 2nd win of the year. His first one came back in, when did we do Pukekohe? I think it was April. So about 4 months ago.
Stez, would you have thought at this point in the season we'd be saying Thomas McMillan has got more wins than Kurt Stenberg?
No. But last year his first win came at Townsville, and that's the next circuit we go to after Hidden Valley.
We do. He was dominant at Townsville. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Who are you talking about?
Thomas McMillan, wasn't he?
No, I'm talking about Kurt.
Oh, which was
You're
it?
talking about Service Paradise.
Oh, Service Paradise.
Yeah, that was Thomas McMillan.
Horrible
That
circuit.
should have been a win for Thomas McMillan, but it wasn't because
Technical issue.
Yes, and that's not a circuit we go to this year.
Oh no.
So
it's a double whammy.
It's
for
a double whammy.
Thomas McMillan.
Sandown is another one of the races that Thomas McMillan won last year. Let's have a look at him since we're talking
We're probably
about it.
not going to go there. Let's be 100%.
It is on the calendar. It is on the calendar, but yeah, I think a lot of things have to go right in Melbourne between now and September for that to go ahead as planned.
And it doesn't look like they are going right, unfortunately.
Now, Thomas McMillan and Kurt Stenberg both have to run hard tyres in one of the next 2 races. So whether or not they do that in the same race could have a huge bearing on how those results play out.
Could, as Thomas McMillan, you can see he's right on the back of one of the wild cards who's doing his best to keep out of the way of him, but really Thomas McMillan should have given himself a lot more breathing space to do his hot lap. He's come across the line in 2nd, about a 10th and a half down on on Kurt Stenberg. Sorry, make that half a second down on Kurt Stenberg. So hopefully this next hot lap can be a bit better. Oh,
whoa.
Never mind, it won't be.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about these tyres, man, dude. It's got them all up in a lather.
Can't wait to see. Because they all run softs during qualifying regardless of what they're running in the race, correct?
That is my understanding of the situation. Kurt Stenberg is in the fence.
Oh, so they're both screwing up their hot lap, so well done to both of them.
Let's have a look at the cheeky little replay, shall we?
A cheeky little rough. So he got past Thomas McMillan, who was having a mare, and then decided to go off in sympathy.
Two wheels
very
on the grass.
good. Oh!
Yeah, that's we saw that actually happen on the weekend to Macaulay Jones.
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Jones, not Macaulay Culkin.
He's cleaned himself up.
It's funny. The funny thing about having back-to-back races in the real life Supercars Championship when they're already down on revenue is that if someone does crash a car, you can see the pain on the team owners' faces.
I can imagine. Yes, there's not going to be... It's going to be a painful couple of years, I reckon, for motorsport. Hopefully sim racing can sort of fill a little bit of that gap. I hope so. So leaves no more gaps.
Get it in there. We're doing the sponsorship thing all backwards.
We are. We're not mentioning the actual people that are listed as sponsors for this, and instead we're mentioning various national brands.
We are in talks at the moment. Nothing announced yet, but do keep an eye out for an announcement in the future on that.
I'm doing little finger guns.
Yep.
At the screen and at everything. that our viewers can't.
I can see that, but you're probably telling the viewers for their benefit, aren't you?
If Dixon's saying meow meow,
Everyone I cut to just decides to
go off the track or into the pits.
Yep.
So Kurt Stenberg currently still in the lead for this pole position. Thomas McMillan still half a second behind. And Sean Allen actually very close, 200ths back on Thomas McMillan. Sean Allen, of course, had pole position. We just saw him there leaving the pits behind David Nedich. Sean Allen had pole position in the first race, but an absolutely shocking start and just fell completely away. So
I just realised this is a qualifying session. It was a warm-up, I apologise. We won't go through this entire graphic again, but I have a warm-up graphic on there, so apologies for that. So, who's on fast laps?
Who is on fast laps? That's a very good question that would be useful to know. Someone who isn't on a fast lap.
Sorry, go on.
No, please, you continue.
No, I forgot what I was going to say.
So have I. That's why.
Well,
we're professionals.
That was a ballet, wasn't it?
Well done to both of us.
So, who is on a quick one?
Dane Licciardo on your screens there, currently sitting down in 13th place. Does he look like he's going to improve? We don't know because we've swapped to Thomas McMillan.
He's the highest place runner on a lap. Kurt Stenberg is just coming out on his out lap now. So this is remarkably different to the qualifying session that we saw for race 1. The gap, Thomas McMillan is 4/10 down.
Yeah, it's not. It was much closer in the first qualifying session. About 2/10 covered the top 3. And he doesn't look like he's improving this lap. He's 6/10 down on his personal best and might just be warming up for a better tilt at it. Comes around the last corner.
This makes me wonder, actually, if they are qualifying on hards, if the gap is that far down, there's no impression. He's 4/10 down on his own PB.
Yeah, it seems odd unless Kurt Stenberg's had. I mean, Thomas McMillan and Sean Allen are very close together. So unless Kurt Stenberg has just improved leaps and bounds between the two qualifying sessions.
Got some confidence from that near win. Feels like he wants to make things right.
Make things right, just like he did at the end of the first race by redressing that position for Thomas McMillan, who's up on his personal best by 1/10.5 and just down on Kurt Stenberg's PB through the middle sector. So, through the first sector. We'll get to see how he's going through the middle sector in just a second when he crosses this line, and he is still up on his personal best, but down on Kurt Stenberg by about 1.5
He's got a fair bit to find, and Kurt Stenberg is improving on the lap that he's on as well.
Oh.
Another wiggle through the final corner.
He's all over the place.
Sean Allen has gone very close to beating Kurt Stenberg's time, but alas, it's not to be. Thomas McMillan across the line. Can he improve? It is still third. He improves on his PB, but it's not enough to improve his position. He did qualify third for race 1, mind you.
So Sean Allen was able to jump ahead of Thomas McMillan during that.
Yeah.
And is tantalisingly close to a second pole position, but he's only got 1 minute and 5 seconds to do it. And I don't know if he's out on track still. He is.
He is on a lap, but Kurt Stenberg to the line. Is he going to improve? No, he's had some disaster in the end of that lap. He was up through the first sector. What can Sean Allen do in response?
He will. If he's got enough fuel, Sean Allen can do another lap after this one. He is coming up behind someone though, so that won't be helping him at all.
Oh, he's very wide there. I have to think that he's not going to improve on this lap. He has to have a really good final sector because he was down by a couple of hundreds through the final sector split. Alas, what is it going to be for Sean Allen? He comes across the line and he's well down. What does Thomas McMillan have in response?
Yeah, so he's going to get another bite at the apple too. So Kurt Stenberg is on his final lap because he will not be able to cross the line before the timer runs out. And he doesn't look like he's going to improve on his position.
Thomas McMillan won't get another lap either.
Oh no! So it's all down to Sean Allen as the only one who can improve in the top 3.
Tight.
Kurt Stenberg will not be improving. He was 7/10 down coming through the last sector split. So that is definitely not looking good for him. So 1:04.5 is the time to beat. Sean Allen on your screens, coming up towards the middle sector split. Get to see what sort of pace he is on, and he's down by about 2.5 tenths on Kurt Stenberg.
All right through that first sector, but Oh, look at this. David Nenadic just spun in front of Sean Allen. I wonder if that hampered his efforts. I don't think he's going to have enough to topple Kurt Stenberg at the top. In fact, he's dived into the pit lane. So that's no good at all.
Yep, so Kurt Stenberg with the pole position. So after a tantalisingly close second place in the first race, he's putting himself in the best position to take that experience forwards into race 2 and get himself the first win of the season. And good, wouldn't it be overdue, Stairs?
Heath Dixon, who's here after watching JRE clips. Very good. It's entirely possible.
I'm loving the
this entire night has just been a solo Cybin trip.
I'm loving the normie YouTube comments coming from Heath Dixon.
Yeah, what's another one?
Like it's like when you find a song on YouTube and all the comments are, oh no, this I came here from Umbrella Academy or whatever show it was that had the song in it.
Not that you liked the song in the first place. First, yeah, well, it's a bit late for first.
It's a bit late for first.
First, which is never usually the first comment, and someone else got in first while they were typing the word first.
I remember seeing there's a very popular YouTuber called Jesse Cox, and I once happened to be on Twitter when he posted a link to his new video, and I saw a Jesse Cox video with 0 views, and I was almost apoplectic with pleasure. Here is the track.
I find it a strange thing to be pleasured about. It's a strange way of putting it.
Here is the track, Hidden Valley Raceway. So there is turn 1, and there is turn 2, turn 3, which doesn't exist, turn 4, which does, turn 5, and turn 6.
Turn 1 be like first.
Turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, which doesn't exist, and turns 10 and 11. Which could be combined really into one, and then turn 12, which I'll allow, but on a technicality, and then turns 13 and 14 really could be combined as well. So, 2019 winners were Ethan Warren and Ethan Warren. At the moment, 2019 winners are Thomas McMillan and to be decided. So, looking very much forward towards this race. Kurt Stenberg putting himself in the best position to take out the race win with the pole position for race number 2. And we're just hurriedly figuring out who is going to be on the hard tyres.
I'm a bit confused because there's a couple of people saying H in the chat who had hards in the first race, but that's probably actually from earlier in the night.
Yes, oh, so Sean Allen was on the
warm-up. We're in the warm-up, so that's why.
Okay, so Sean Allen was on the hards in the first race, as was Zach Baker. A couple that jumped in right at the end, apparently.
All right, well, they put that in before we...
So that was why Sean Allen seemed to be struggling for pace. And Zach Baker as well. We were saying that David Nenadic seemed to be doing better than his teammate. If one was on much harder tyres, that would make sense.
That's right. Now, we didn't catch that because they would have written that basically after we took the photo. It's not the best way of doing this, but anyway, we're working on this, of course, but at least that means they don't need to do it.
What are your predictions, Des?
Or 3.
For race number 2.
My predictions are that I'm going to get frazzled.
Apart from that, what are your predictions of the results? I've given mine. I've given my predictions. You never offered your prediction.
I'm just making sure I'm up to date here, big pardon.
That's all good.
I'm not helping you at all.
No, that's fine. We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this warm-up session before we hop over into the second race.
Let's get something to look at while we're talking about our predictions. So, if Sean Allen has softs, that completely changes everything. That puts him right back in this battle. He got 4th on hard tyres. Yeah. We didn't know he was on hard tyres, but that completely explains his lack of pace towards the back end of that race.
And his horrible start.
Yes.
That explains completely why he just fell away at the start. So will Kurt Stenberg and Thomas McMillan, will one of them go for hards this race, or they're both saving it for the end?
I really hope they both go for hards in the same race. Because that means the other race, it will be game on for those two. Otherwise, it's fairly easily in the pocket of one or other of them.
Yes, one or other of them.
Correct. So Dane Machado, one of 3 cars out on the racetrack right now. Thomas McMillan being the other one, and Colin Warwick being the other one other than him.
Very well said. Just getting in some last-minute practice. We've got just a few seconds left in the warm-up session, and then we'll be hopping over into the race. Still got all of our runners here, which is very nice to see.
Yeah, I reckon they're enjoying this new format, which is definitely giving us lots of question marks. It's always good when you don't have a foregone conclusion going into a race, because you're asking me for my predictions before, and I was stalling for time.
Oh,
dear me.
Oh, there's been a mating. They've joined.
Let's give them some privacy.
Dan Licciardo doesn't need privacy. He's out there flinging it around all by himself.
Doing free practice.
Good on him. Lots and lots of free practice, yeah. No consequences.
No consequences.
As we wind up the warm-up session.
We wind up the warm-up session. So your time has gone 0.
It does wait for the current drivers to finish their laps.
That's right. We're just going to look at this info again. Because, well, we missed it on the first race, so here is a reminder of the format for round 8. 19 laps, all 3 races, so it's 55 kilometres for a grand total of 165 kilometres, racing kilometres tonight. Compulsory pit stop for 2 tyres, and must use hards for 1 race. A reminder of those who already used the hards: Iris Latino, Benjamin Dahlia, Lachlan Horan, Daniel Licciardo, Alex Kettle, Colin Warwick, Zach Baker, and Sean Allen. So far, David Nenovich has nominated that he's going to use tyres that are hard in this particular race.
Oh, that's a very interesting way of describing it. I like it. Tyres that are hard.
So that means unless I've forgotten, no one else is gone for the hards. That's going to be a painful race for David Nenovich. Yeah,
they did say to type it during the warm-up set, during the formation lap, so they might still.
Well, we won't
nominate.
see it if it happens after that, so that's not an ideal setup. But the warm-up lap's underway, and Kurt Stenberg
does not want to move.
He doesn't want to move, so that's interesting. So Kurt Stenberg on his way on the warm-up lap ahead of Sean Allen. So Sean Allen was the pole sitter in the first race and elected to start on hard tyres. So an interesting strategy from Sean Allen. Let's see how it goes in race 2. Thomas McMillan, race winner from race 1, qualified in 3rd in race 1, but he had a hard tyre runner starting ahead of him in race 1. He doesn't this time. David Nenovich in 4th, ahead of Brody Steen. Brody Steen is ahead of Zach Baker. Colin Warwick in 7th place. Let's see how he goes on soft tyres. Benjamin Dahlia in 8th. Alex Cattle in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is RSN Latino, Super 2 Championship leader. Lachlan Horan in 11th place. Dane Licciardo in 12th. Stenny 13th. And Michael Pollard, who graced us with his presence in the live chat after a difficult race for him in race 1. And that is the grid of 14 for race number 2.
It is. So David Nenovich, the only confirmed runner on hards. Might still be a couple more, which will probably make themselves obvious during the race.
Yeah. We'll try and look at that once they settle into a bit of a rhythm and we have a chance to. So just winding their way through the back section of the racetrack now. Kurt Stenberg.
It's quite a large place for it to be hidden. I wonder if they've got some sort of camouflage netting covering the entire thing most of the year.
Really good question. Makes me think.
Keith Dixon says, "What game is this?" Automobilista Motorsport Simulator.
If only we had some sort of watermark.
Yes,
covering that. Here are the cars gridding up. Gridding up.
Giddy up.
Can Kurt Stenberg get a Darwin in Darwin?
Oh, disgusting.
Lights are on, Madbird. This is race 2 of 3. And away they go. Sean Allen gets a much better start. A lot of 11s from Kurt Stenberg. Can he maintain the lead? He's got the inside, but it's going to be Sean Allen who gets his nose ahead. Colin Warwick with a much better start as well. Down into turn 1. Kurt Stenberg still with his nose in there. Sean Allen has to give him a little bit of space. but it's going to be Kurt Stenberg who emerges from turn 1 in the lead of this race.
Yeah, but Sean Allen still on the inside as they're heading on down towards turns 3, 4, and 5. And if he can stick there, he's going to have the inside line, and he does through turn 5, which is going to give him the inside in theory the outside in theory to the hairpin. Kurt Stenberg tries to swap back up the inside, but Sean Allen's covered that off. Sean Allen into the lead of this race. Thomas McMillan just still stuck back there in
one
third.
One of the ZB cars spun on the inside of turn 6. It is David Nedadic who's recovering to the racetrack. What an awful start for David Nedadic. See if we can catch a replay of what happened to him. Looks like he got tagged by Alex Cattle as the poor Benjamin Dahlia got involved in that as well. And all the wild cards trying to get out of the way, but a very unlucky start there for David Nedadic.
Sounds like we're talking about a boy band when we say the wild cards, and there's the 4 guys dressed very similarly. Very well done to all of them for keeping out of the way, to be honest. That was sort of sight unseen as they were coming around the hairpin. At the front, Sean Allen still in the lead. Thomas McMillan on the back of Kurt Stenberg, who's in second. And maybe Kurt Stenberg on the hard tyres. He had a very bad start.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at it now. It still seems as though David Nedadic is the only driver who's opted
Man, that's bad
hards.
luck, isn't it?
Unless everyone else forgot to type in that they were running the hard tyres, but it means that we've got a lot of front-running drivers going for hards in the last race.
Notable exception of Sean Allen, who is going to have a good last couple of races on the softs, I reckon.
Well, he's having a good race right now. So it might end up being that race 3 is easier than race 2 for him. David Nedadic, I think, if ever there was a race for this to happen, maybe this is just the one where he takes the pain. He's certainly taken it already. He'll be glad he didn't burn up a set of softs on this particular race where he's been spun around in the
Very true. Kurt Stenberg with the slipstream on Sean Allen coming down towards turn 1. He's going to have a look down the inside. Looks like he's going to be able to keep it side by side through there. A little bit of a bump of doors. Sean Allen hanging around the outside though, seems to have quite a lot of grip, and he's managed to hang on to the outside there through turn 1, and he's going to be able to stick there through turns 2, 3 and 4, and then down into turn 5. He's going to try to hang it around the inside. Kurt Stenberg goes a little bit deep and on the grass, but keeps it side by side coming into the hairpin. Sean Allen driving around the outside. If he can stay there, then he would have the inside for the next corner, but Kurt Stenberg covers it off, so very well done there to Kurt Stenberg for retaking that lead.
Tremendous job. Great racing.
Absolutely. Kurt Stenberg now with a 2/10 of a second lead, and Thomas McMillan just seems to be struggling a little bit to make any impression on these two.
We got a spinner.
Colin Warwick, I think, spun around there at the last corner in that new black sack.
That's no good. This is one of his soft tyre runs, so that's not going to please Colin Warwick, and he's coming under pressure from Dane Licciardo, who's got a lot more momentum than he does right now. And we're just going to catch a replay of what happened to Colin Warwick. I have to go back a little bit further than that.
Black Shores, not black sacks.
I completely missed that one. He's done it all by himself, Madbird.
Yep, just oversteered coming out of turn 14, which, as we've said, according to me, would probably be more like turn 10, but I belabor the point.
Now, the front. Thomas McMillan, yeah, you said he couldn't quite hang on to these two. It seems to be playing out that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's just falling away. He's about 0.6 of a second back. These two are taking a lot of time out of each other as well, so this would be the ideal opportunity to be closing in on them, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace to live with them. Sean Allen with a much tighter run through the last corner than Kurt Stenberg, and they're so close to that wall. It looks as if he's half inside the wall, to be honest, from this particular camera view, but you can see there's quite a bit of leeway. Sean Allen having a look down the inside at turn 1 with a huge slingshot from the slipstream.
That's brought Thomas into it a little bit more.
Sean Allen tries to cover Kurt Stenberg off onto the grass, but they're side by side, almost bumping doors coming through turns 3 and 4. And down into turn 5, can Sean Allen hang on around the outside for the inside of the hairpin? Looks like he can. They're still side by side. Sean Allen into the hairpin in the inside, and Thomas McMillan right on the back of these two.
Great job there from Sean Allen. Wrestles away the lead.
This is a great scrap.
Kurt Stenberg. It is an absolutely ding-dong scrap there, as Kurt Stenberg takes a slightly different line from Sean Allen. The Thomas McMillan has definitely found a way into this battle between Kurt Stenberg and Sean Allen. Meanwhile, you can also see Zach Baker buying into this just a little bit. A watching brief, you might say, and Brody Sting's only 3 seconds behind them as well.
Based off how close Kurt Stenberg and Sean Allen have been racing the last couple of laps, being there just in case they take each other out, probably not a bad idea, because you can only race so close so long before something happens and you come to blows. As Kurt Stenberg cops a bit of oversteer on the grass coming out of turn 1, that's given Sean Allen a tiny bit more breathing space, and they don't go side by side on this particular
a bit of a lock up there from Kurt Stenberg. He went very wide. That's going to put him under pressure from Thomas McMillan, who's going to dive down the inside of turn 6 and get second place. But Kurt Stenberg is going to try to fight back, but he lights up the rears on the exit of 6, and it costs him crucial track position, and now he's gone down from first to second to third, and all of a sudden Sean Allen has a bit of a break at the front of this race. Yeah, 2 positions at that hairpin in 2 consecutive laps for Kurt Stenberg to lose. And Zach Baker now thinking, well, maybe if they can do it, I can do it. Kurt Stenberg in the pits, going for the early one. So he's now doing the Thomas McMillan strategy of trying to get the undercut, get some fresh rubber for a little bit of time before the others pit. He's pulled the trigger early, hasn't he? He has. I can't remember when. I reckon Thomas McMillan was lap 7 or lap 8 that he came in. So he's gone even earlier than that. Has Kurt Stenberg. Colin Warwick as well into the pits behind him. So trying to recover from his accident earlier on. Trying to avoid some of the traffic, maybe try and get a few positions back with the undercut for Colin Warwick. Kurt Stenberg is just emerging from the exit of the pits as well, and you can see in the back of shot Colin Warwick. Those two, the only 2 drivers to take service on this lap, but much earlier than we were expecting them to. Much earlier indeed. So he's now 37 seconds behind the lead of Sean Allen. So that pit stop probably about 35 seconds. 34, 35 seconds, because he wasn't that far behind Sean Allen as he came into the pits. See if these 2 respond. I'd be surprised if they do, to be honest, and they don't. So no. Sean Allen and Thomas McMillan remain out on the racetrack. It was Thomas McMillan who pitted at the end of lap 8 last race. So he was the one doing the early pit stop last race, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go completely the other end of the spectrum. I think he's sick of running on old tyres, so he will try and finish stronger, I think, against Sean Allen. And I think it all depends on what Sean Allen does. Kurt Stenberg with a nice bit of clean air in front of him as well. Next car up the track is his father, Stenny. Oh, yep. He's got about 6 seconds to catch. Oh, no, Stenny's actually in the pits. Yep, he's peeled off. So even more space for Kurt Stenberg. Both Stennys in the pits early in this race. Like father, like son. Or like son, like father, even. Thomas McMillan just chipping away at Sean Allen's lead. 0.6 of a second now, or thereabouts. And as they come around the last corner, will one of them blink? Who's going to go into the pits? Neither of them on this occasion. We saw a lot of jinking into the pit lane last year to try and dummy the other person into a pit stop that they didn't necessarily want to take. And we saw that at City Motorsport Park, Dane Warren diving for the pits and then across the lines to get out of the pit entry on a couple of occasions to try to throw off his chasers. McMillan was about 1/4 of a second faster than Allen on the last lap, so he's definitely catching up bit by bit. Kurt Stenberg not making huge inroads on that gap to the lead with that fresh tyres, so yeah, only 1/10 or 2. That's what we've noticed. I mean, we said that in the first race, didn't we? Yeah, they don't drop off particularly quickly. It's annoying. From a strategy point of view, you want gradual degradation. You don't want them to hold their performance and then go perfectly and then go off the cliff. You just want, every lap 2 or 3 tenths slower than the lap before until they're more or less not worth running anymore. That's what we like to see. And Sean Allen blinks. He does. Thomas McMillan doesn't. So Thomas McMillan going along this time around. Zach Baker behind, coming into the pits as well. This is the conventional strategy. This is the halfway point in the race. This is when you would expect them to pit. I was a bit worried there that where Zach Baker was going to stop, that he would block Sean Allen in, but it looks like Sean Allen has got a pretty clear run to exit his pit box, and he's on the move. So race leader before this, and he will probably be race leader after this, unless Thomas McMillan has anything to say about it.
Yeah, Thomas McMillan has an absolutely blistering in-lap. Zach Baker going for the undercut on Thomas McMillan maybe, because he was only a couple of tenths back. And with a lap or two of fresh tyres. Oh, Kurt Stenberg is catching.
He did have a good undercut on those tyres. He's going to go through and retake the lead. So that was... we weren't even watching that. He's turned in. Oh, my goodness.
That was... I'm not sure who... that was messy from both drivers, I think. Sean Allen has come off the worst, though. He's ricocheted off Kurt Stenberg and into the runoff area. See if we can catch a replay of that.
Yeah, I'm just wanting to see whether Thomas McMillan comes into the pits.
He does.
He does. So Thomas McMillan is coming into the pits. Before we catch a replay, I think we just want to see how this plays out. Because Sean Allen is the big loser through this. Brody Steen is also in the pit lane. But we're going to have a change for the lead, and I think it's going to be Thomas McMillan. If we can, sorry.
Well, I reckon Thomas McMillan is going to come out behind Kurt Stenberg, but ahead of Sean Allen, because they were so close on track, and then Sean Allen's had that incident.
So here's Kurt Stenberg just coming through the final sector right now, but Thomas McMillan, I reckon he's going to have a huge lead. He's just exiting the pit lane now,
but he still can't accelerate. He's now getting up to speed. It's going to be the same thing again, I reckon. Kurt Stenberg's going to have a shot into the front, into the first turn.
Not close enough. I reckon. Oh, there was a bit of contact with Sean Allen on this time a lap ago. I wonder if that slowed Kurt down. But oh boy, this is on like Donkey Kong.
It is. Ding ding, round number 2. Except this time Thomas McMillan has the fresher tyres and he's in the lead. Although for how long? Because Kurt Stenberg's tyres are up to temperature. And he is not wanting to waste any time behind the VB Sim Pleb Racing Pleb Sim Sport.
You got there.
I got there eventually. Car, but Thomas McMillan's having none of it. He's holding on to that lead. Look how close they are.
That is absolutely close. I wanted to show you the KO sponsorship on the bottom, but you couldn't see it because it was stuck under the bonnet. There's rubbing going on here. Rubbing's racing. Sean Allen's going to catch up behind them. You can see him in the back of that shot. But still, it is Kurt Stenberg who leads after stealing it from Thomas McMillan.
And Dave Nadich actually into the lead, although he pit very early on. He pit way back at the start.
Dave Nadich is pitting now. He's dropping down the
do apologise. I was thinking of the previous race.
So Thomas McMillan goes back through the inside of turn 1. Ahead of Kurt Stenberg, but runs it wide on the exit, which allows Kurt Stenberg
to get a bit of a punt, I reckon.
You reckon?
Just a tiny bit.
Just a bit?
But he still managed to hold on to the position, so it's all good. That was scary.
Mad Bird, these guys are annoying me. I'm trying to show a replay of Sean Allen.
But they're being too exciting. I know, it's very frustrating. Kurt Stenberg going for the inside at the hairpin. He's got the job done. Thomas McMillan tries to cut back up the inside at the exit, but isn't able to. But he, of course, does have the fresher rubber. He's got about 3 or 4 laps on Kurt Stenberg, I reckon. I think 3 laps on Kurt Stenberg in terms of his tyres being newer. So that will come to him towards the end of the race, but he, of course, would prefer to be in the lead and just using that advantage right now. As it is, he's chasing behind Kurt Stenberg. He might have a good run into the first corner here with this very long start-finish straight.
Heath Dixon offering advice to T-Mac, he calls him now. Thomas McMillan, patience you must have. Well, I don't know if that's not an attribute we normally use for Thomas McMillan, who dives down the inside of turn 1 and is going to get the better traction. There's a little bit of a bump there, which knocks Kurt Stenberg out the way.
So it's now 1-1 because that happened the other way around last lap. So my dignity is my honour and dignity is restored as they try to go side by side through turn 5, and Kurt Stenberg's come out the better. And Thomas McMillan's going to have to try to slide down the inside
of 6.
That was a dive.
Sean Allen is catching up. Sean Allen is there. Let's quickly catch this replay from a few laps ago before this kicks on. This is what happened. This is how Sean Allen fell behind. And I think Kurt was going a little bit wide. I think Sean Allen was just there, basically. He couldn't quite see Kurt Stenberg until the last moment when he turned in. So that's how he lost all that time. But he's back, and he's right on the tail of these two, battling for the lead with 6 laps to go.
Yep, and Thomas McMillan, speaking of right on the tail, he's got some sandpaper on the front of his bonnet, and he's rubbing the back of Kurt Stenberg's car, trying to get a little bit of extra spin on it. I don't even know if that's how the reference works.
Not legal.
Not legal at all. But they're both going to lose out to Sean here. They're stuck up on the curb. Unbelievable. Almost 3 wide. Now, Sean Allen, I think Kurt's bumping. Thomas is pushing him out the way. Oh, and that's it's all gone wrong for Thomas McMillan. He's off the racetrack.
And so is
Kurt's off the
Stenberg.
racetrack. Zach Baker's going to go up into second. Oh, my goodness. No, the lap's not going to count, Thomas. That's not going to work. I don't think it's going to work.
It might do, because it hasn't removed him from the, he's still showing as being in the lead. It would have dropped him behind everybody if it didn't count. He's presumably going to redress some positions.
Well, he got pushed off the track by Kurt.
Yeah, it's not really his fault that he ended up out there. Sean Allen probably won't be too happy about it. It looks like he's giving that position to Sean Allen at the very least.
Yeah, Kurt built this track, so if anyone knows, it would be one of his good best friends.
All right, so Thomas McMillan, ding ding, round number 7, except this time it's against Sean Allen. As Thomas McMillan's trying to go down the inside at turn 1.
Yeah, I just maybe on the other screen I'll try and pull up a replay just to figure out what on earth has happened.
They just looked like they were just bumping and barging coming down towards turn 5, and Thomas McMillan just got spun right out. Sean Allen's got the lights on. Another bump.
I think there was a bump into the rear. Zach Baker into the rear of Thomas McMillan. They both lost out there. Oh, this. I didn't think Thomas was going to be able to do it there. Sean Allen left the door wide open. It's 2 by 2. Noah's Ark as you go. And
Zach Baker's got the lights on.
Kurt Stenberg tried to get 3rd place there. It didn't quite work out though, did it?
No, Zach Baker doing a very good job to defend that position. And in fact, he's keeping himself in touch for a higher podium position as well, because who knows what's going to happen with these two ahead. Thomas goes very wide at the last corner, lets Sean Allen get up alongside. They nearly sideswipe each other and then goes defensive, but Sean Allen slots in behind for just a little bit of slipstream, but he's not right behind him. I don't think he's going to have a go down into the first corner. Zach Baker, meanwhile, has got a lot of pace and nowhere to go with it, as does Kurt Stenberg. They're almost 2 by 2 coming into the first corner. Kurt Stenberg cuts up the inside of Zach Baker, and with a hefty whack of oversteer,
oh my goodness.
Zach Baker holds on to that 3rd place.
We're going to give up on the replay from a few laps ago because it's not important, because what is happening right now is Thomas McMillan is battling Sean Allen for the lead. Whether or not you think he shortcut the track too much, he gives Sean Allen a bump. Sean Allen is completely innocent. I don't know why he's being so aggressive with Sean here. It's probably Kurt who would have the issue with. If my memory serves me correct, it was those two that were battling each other when Thomas McMillan found himself off in the weeds.
That's correct.
But nonetheless, he has managed to bump his way into the lead of this race.
Well, Sean Allen was the recipient of that particular accident, I suppose. He was the one that benefited from it. Thomas McMillan, possibly rightly feeling like a lead was stolen from him, and he now wants that lead back. And fair enough. He's now in that lead, 0.2 of a second ahead of Sean Allen, who's looks like he's going to have a go.
Whoa.
Thomas McMillan with a very bold defensive move across the track coming down into turn 1.
These guys are all going to have to put hards on for the last race. Apart from Sean Allen, it would have to be said. Now, Zach Baker has lost 3rd place to Kurt Stenberg after a bit of a battle, but they've both found themselves a little bit further back from this leading duo as a result of that battle. Brody Steen's not too far behind, and a great run from RSM Latino right now, 6th in about 10 seconds, leading the 2nd group.
They got Lachlan Horan just ahead of them, who's going to want to get out of the way, because this is the battle for the lead. Lockie, get out of the way, mate. He's right in the way.
Blue flags.
Blue flag.
To be fair, here is very, very hard to get out of the way.
He did his best. He got very wide coming through turns 13 and 14. Yeah. And it looks like he's let 3 and 4 through as well, which has actually helped Kurt Stenberg out a lot.
Yeah,
he's trouble right back onto Sean Allen.
When you're the leading car, you tend to lose the most time. Although having said that, in this instance, Sean Allen appears to have lost the most time. So I don't know why that is. I must have looked away at the screen at the important moment there. But Sean Allen's very, very strong under brakes here, and he's catching a lot of time down there at turn 1.
Second to last lap, Stairs.
It is the second to last lap. Sorry for looking at Lachlan Horan. Not for because we don't want to see Lachlan Horan, but because we want to see this battle. And it is now. Oh, that was rude.
That was very rude. There's been a lot of rude driving going on. Zach Baker looking like he wants that final podium position, and Kurt Stenberg now suddenly is awoken and knows that there is a win on the table if he can just get ahead of Sean Allen.
So Thomas McMillan loses 2 spots out of that. He was in the lead, but he'd been unceremoniously punted out of the lead.
Man, turns 5 and 6. What a hotbed for bumping they have been. Kurt Stenberg's going to have the slipstream down the start-finish straight as they come on to start the final lap of this race.
So, well, are we going to see a move down here at turn 1? It looks like Sean Allen is going for that defensive route.
Kurt Stenberg trying to go around the outside, but not able to do so.
Do a quick replay of this is the onboard of Sean Allen punting
that's one hell of a
Thomas
hit.
McMillan before. And that is how Thomas McMillan fell down to third place and Sean Allen got into the lead. So a lot of these, just like our schedule for this year, these moves with an asterisk above them.
Yeah, Kurt Stenberg getting a little bit out on the grass, which has given Thomas McMillan a look up the inside of the hairpin. Goes very deep for his trouble as well. And those tyres are going off because he's wiggling all over the place like a fish.
This is Thomas McMillan, the onboard. It looks like Sean Allen is clear.
Thought he was going to try to cut up the inside of turn 10 there, which was never going to work. And yeah, Sean Allen seems to be clear in the lead. I did predict Thomas McMillan in the wall, which sort of happened, so I call it half a prediction
He's
correct.
finishing a race on the podium though, regardless of what happens from here. Well, unless there are any positional penalties, although they don't tend to do that. They do points penalties.
Doesn't
but well
matter.
done to Sean Allen. He grabs another win in this terrific championship that he's having. It started off pretty badly, if you can remember, all the way back to Adelaide and Melbourne, but he's really found his form in recent weeks and he's been picking up wins. And, well, he's in a very good spot for race 3 as well, because he will be on soft tyres and most of his nearest competitors will be on hard tyres.
Absolutely. Kurt Stenberg yet again missing out on a win, and with having to run the hard tyres in the last lap, the last race, I don't like his chances. Same for Thomas McMillan, but Thomas McMillan did notch a win in the first race. A podium in the second is not too bad. And, man, yeah.
I'm trying to remember all the punts though, because
I think it probably all shakes out, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It seems like everyone was hitting everybody.
There was a bit of eye for an eye going on.
There was. The only one that I can think was Thomas McMillan does a spin. The only one I can think of that's probably a little bit dubious is that very first Kurt Stenberg on Thomas McMillan one into turn 5 that sent him off the track.
We're all trying to go into the pits
Oh
at
my
exactly
goodness.
the same time. This is a bit odd.
It is.
But yeah, that moment when Thomas McMillan was punted off the racetrack at turn 5, and then he rejoined the racetrack at turn 7, so 6 was completely... Well, you said... We talked about turn 6 at the start of the broadcast, and you said it wasn't a corner.
I didn't say turn 6 wasn't a corner.
Well, you said it before I pointed it out. I said turn 6 is a corner. It's like, oh yes, I agree with that. But
okay.
Before that, you just said that there are no other corners apart from turn 1.
I said no. I did not say. You're putting
you
words
did
in
say
my...
that.
I said that I said of all the corners, turn 1 is the one that I would not call not a corner. I believe.
I'm trying to work out that double negative.
Yeah.
But
We'll go
anyway,
back. That's another hill
Thomas
for me to die
McMillan, he
on.
went off at 5 and he joined back up at turn 7, which reminded me of this happened in real life at Winton with Scott McLaughlin a couple of years ago, and everyone was all up in actually it was last year, I think it was. It feels like a couple of years ago.
Been a long
But everyone
year.
was up in arms that he just cut out half the racetrack.
Did he get penalised for it?
I don't think that he did, or if he did, it was only like a 5-second penalty and they didn't think it fit the crime.
Yeah, fair enough. But if he got shoved wide, then like...
Oh, in this case, he just went off on his own.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's a little bit iffy then.
It's a first lap thing though, so it makes a bigger difference when you've got that many cars on the
That's
track.
very true.
So yeah, that was race 2.
That was that was race 2. Went on a little bit of a tangent.
We did, but we're going to take a break now.
Fantastic.
So, we'll see after that one.
All the information you want about the Automobilista Supercars Championship is now all in one place. Visit asc.rocksolidmates.com for all the official ASC content, including season calendars, results and championship points, broadcast information, rules and regulations, lap records and more. You can also get updates on our official ASC Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell notification icon to get notified whenever we go live for all championship races.
The Automobilista Supercars Championship is proudly brought to you by RSM, Rock Solid Mates, ARW, Apex Rear Wing, CW, Colin Warwick Designs, and Jinx Shifters.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to Darwin for round 8 of the Automobilista Supercars Championship. Madbird, how's it to be you?
My knees hurt.
Yeah?
I just copped a squat just to sort of pop them, and then I realised that would mean I would need to get up from said squat, and I found it more difficult than I was expecting. But I've arisen, and I am here, and we're ready for qualifying.
Alright, let's bring the graphic up this time. Oh, good.
Nailed it.
Didn't work.
No, it's qualifying. Nailed it.
Oh. What didn't work was the graphic of the racetrack. But we don't really... We've seen it a few times already, so that's
We have. And we know that it's a liar anyway, because it says that there's 14 corners and there's clearly not. So...
Only going on what information I'm given, Madbird.
So, we are here for the third qualifying session, and Stairs, I was remiss during the second qualifying session because I promised you weird rabbit facts.
Oh, yeah?
For every qualifying session. Oh, sorry, you demanded weird rabbit facts for every qualifying session.
I recall now.
So here is your one for the second qualifying session that I missed. Did you know that rabbit teeth never stop growing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Rabbit diets are really tough. They eat lots of woody plants, and these plants can easily wear down their teeth, which is why they have evolved to have teeth that never stop growing. Which is why with the domestic rabbits that don't eat such hardy food, it can be a medical issue for them.
So that's why they have the long teeth.
Correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yes. Oh, I've got nothing to add. And Thomas McMillan is the leading car on the racetrack as we start this qualifying session.
And unlike you, Stairs, rabbits cannot puke. This is the fact for qualifying session number 3. They seem to have some combination of digestive arrangement or something about their brains that can't or won't communicate the regurgitate command, and so they literally cannot throw up. Whereas I know you certainly can.
Why are you bringing that up? I haven't thrown up in years.
Haven't you?
I don't think so. Oh. I know you have thrown up. I remember you asking an Uber driver to pull over once.
Oh no, I've thrown up since then.
Oh yes, but that was one that I was present for.
Yes, I think I was quite because I was sort of quietly just keeping my eyes shut and trying to keep my stomach calm, and didn't go well in the end. But I still managed to warn the bloke and didn't throw up in his probably nice car.
Yeah, well, one of my Thomas Mellon sets of 105.0. One of my housemates actually didn't tell the Uber driver to throw up one, but opened the window and dispensed with the contents of their stomach.
I feel so bad for Uber drivers on Saturday. Well, probably not this year, to be honest.
Well, they're not. I probably feel bad for them for other reasons because they don't have a lot of work to do.
That's indeed the case. I did empty my stomach on a Hong Kong train platform.
Yeah, that was not for alcohol related reasons.
I believe that was some dodgy pork.
So Sean Allen has gone to the top on a 104.7. So that's a good start to this qualifying session for him. We're just looking at his teammate Brody Steen, who is in 5th place. Zach Baker has slotted in between Thomas McMillan and Sean Allen, so that's a good start to his qualifying session. Let's watch your eye.
Oh no, I was just looking for your little booklet with the people. Did Zach Baker run hards in the first race? I believe he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
It was just David Nemedich, according to our information, who run hards in the second race.
Because I'm trying to think who... So Sean Allen is going to be on softs in the last race. Zach Baker's going to be on softs.
Well, let's go through them as they currently stand, which is fraught with danger as it's an ever-changing situation. So let's just see these guys cross the line and see if there are any changes. Sean Allen doesn't improve. Thomas McMillan doesn't appear to improve. We saw a movement from Brody Steen, I think. He
jumping
went
up into 4th.
Ahead of Kurt Stenberg.
And absent,
into 4th.
is now Michael Pollard, who can't make the last race, but he had good fun tonight. Sorry to McMillan for the hold-up, just couldn't get out of the way through there. Yeah, that last sector is a bit of a shit show.
I don't envy the backmarkers trying to get out of the way there, but we do appreciate
the efforts.
everyone. The efforts. So
before we have another change in the situation in this qualifying session, let's just go through. Sean Allen, we know he'll be running the softs. He's already run them in race 1. Zach Baker, he'll be running the softs. He'll run them in race 1. Kurt Stenberg has to run hard. So does Thomas McMillan. David Nenadic ran them in race 2, so he will be on softs. Brody Steen, he will be on hards. He hasn't run them yet.
Colin Warwick has run hards.
Yeah,
he ran them in the first race, so he'll be on softs.
So did Benjamin Dahlia. Alex Cattle ran them in race 1, and so did Lachlan Horan. And then of the drivers who haven't set times yet, Vane Machado.
I think he did in race 1.
And RSM Latino hasn't... Oh, no, he is there, sorry.
He jumped up just as you get the exact thing that you were worried about happened. As you were speaking Benjamin Dahlia's tyres, RSM Latino jumped ahead of him. So,
yeah. So Dahlia and RSM Latino both ran hards in the first race.
So front runners...
Did you get that?
I did get that. So front runners, so Sean Allen, Zach Baker, and David Nedlich, currently the top 3 who are going to be on soft tyres. Stenberg and Thomas McMillan, of course, going to have hard. So you said that it would be... they'll at least have probably a good scrap between themselves, both being on the slower tyre, considering they've been sort of joined at the hip so far this round.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Sean Allen affair at the front, though. I definitely think that it's his to lose, race 3. So if you're asking for my predictions...
I am.
I'm Sean Allen. I don't know that that's a terribly controversial opinion to have, but it is nonetheless the prediction that I will hold as we watch Sean Allen come into the pit lane.
Come into the bits.
My goodness. So in the pits, we also have Zach Baker and Kurt Stenberg in the garage. Thomas McMillan. David Nenadic is the highest run driver on a lap currently, with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the
And
session.
he comes in the bits.
Well, this is the lull in between the 2 runs that most of them do. Sean Allen's just coming out.
Similar to F1
right now.
How they always seem to have a lull of about 4 or 5 minutes in the middle where really nothing much happens. And apart from maybe a Williams will come out or something like that. But then everyone sort of comes out right at the end for a last lap.
Also got Colin Warwick on the... Yeah, so 2nd through to 6th, they're all just waiting in the garage right now. So behind Sean Allen, it's Colin Warwick on an out lap. Anyone on that hot lap? I don't think anyone is, Madbird. Marcelo Latino's just come in. Benjamin Dahlia's just finished a lap which was only just slower than his PB, 7,000th. Alex Cattle starting the lap. Let's have a look at Alex Cattle.
The Race on Oz satellite team. That bright red livery coming through turn 1. A little bit of oversteer, but he's managed to hold on to it. Someone had a lot of oversteer coming through turn 1 at some stage.
Yes, that's what we call a disagreement with the loud pedal.
Absolutely.
Very close to his PB.
Yeah, so looking like he could possibly improve. He is about 0.2 of a second down on the next place man, Benjamin Dahlia. Not even 0.2, about 1/10.5.
Very doable, very doable.
Definitely doable.
But he'll have to get a wriggle. I'll say that sentence again. He'll have to get a wriggle on. Don't think it's going to happen for Alex Cattle on this lap.
Doesn't look like it. Still got 2 minutes left in the session, so anyone who's out there at the moment can probably sneak in another 2 laps. Sean Allen being one of them, although he is currently in pole position, so he's just looking to stamp his authority on the session.
Yeah, but he's got to protect. Well, he has improved, but not by much. Only 16,000.
Still, he's chipped away.
He's chipped away, so it might protect him from a late surge from someone else behind him. That's what Sean Allen is trying to do right now. But he's in a very good position, isn't he? Burned his...
got rid of it. And it really wasn't that slow on the hards. Like, considering that they're apparently as slow as a wet week, they... stole that from you.
Oh yeah, you can have that one.
Thanks. We'll
share it.
Until he had a bit of a very lousy last stint, he was sort of keeping up.
Zach Baker hasn't come out. Sorry to cut across you there. Zach Baker's happy with his lap, and he's stayed in the pits.
He's put the cue in the rack. He says, yep, no, I'm holding on to that second position. No one is going to better it.
I don't know how safe that is, but he's done a great job so far. He's throwing the gauntlet open to the others. Now, Sean Allen, did he just finish a lap and not really do anything much?
He did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's
Kurt Stenberg is another driver not improving. That seems to be a bit of a trend. They're struggling to match themselves. We've been spoiled watching Dane Warren quali laps where he just always improves every single sector.
He just seems to. There's no ceiling for Dane Warren. He just improves and improves and improves. But so this will be the last hot lap for Kurt Stenberg. He is improving slowly.
Wow, look at that.
That's
that is
beautiful.
Satisfying.
So he's 300ths down on the first place time of Sean Allen, but he's 300ths up on his own time through that sector as he comes down towards the start-finish straight. Well, he's on the start-finish straight as he comes across the start line now. That looks like a good lap. He's up into second, ahead of Zach Baker, who chose not to come out. Might be a mistake. Sean Allen does not improve.
Will he rue the day? Will he rue the day?
Tom McMillan, for some reason I'm shortening his name all of a sudden, does not improve, so he will be starting from fourth.
And that's it. That's the end of that qualifying session. Is it anyone else on a lap? I don't believe. Kurt is on a good lap. Kurt is on a good lap. I'd put the commentary cue in the rack. But this one is on. This one is on. Kurt's got a chance here. He's going to have to start this race on hard, so this is really just for the bragging rights. He got pole in race 2. Sean got pole in race 1. So this is between these two. And he is up. He is up by a small amount. A little bit of a slide there, but the line is good. If he carries the speed, that's all he needs to do in this final corner. The run to the line. And he wants to keep that run to the line as short and as straight as he possibly can, as close to that.
It looks good.
No, he's not done it. He's lost it all. It must have been that little slide coming out of turn 10 or 11.
That is mighty close.
Has cost Kurt Stenberg pole position. Still a front row start. Zach Baker will be in at third behind them. Thomas McMillan qualifies in fourth this race after qualifying in third for race 1 and 2.
Yep, so Sean Allen with another pole position for tonight. Very well done to him. And Zach Baker starting from third, so very good start for him with the soft tyres. Kurt Stenberg, I suppose suppose all you can really do if you're going to be on a much worse tyre is just put yourself in as good a track position as you can for the start. But judging by the start that Sean Allen had in race number 1, those hards do not like taking off the line.
Yeah, I think we're going to see, well, as Heath Dixon says, Mac Mittens with some work to do. Definitely agree there.
Absolutely.
Some work to do. It's going to be hard.
Don't know why you...
Because hard tyres.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought you were making a penis joke.
No, I didn't. I couldn't even possibly think of one.
I thought you were going to say you couldn't possibly think of making one, and I was thinking that's wrong. It would be on brand for you to make a penis joke.
Is it? Yeah. You must underestimate me.
Oh, I think I estimate you. We're just looking at Colin Warwick in that Black Shores, not Black Sax.
I've got the wrong button.
As he leaves the frame, but we can see the front halves of some other cars. I think that's Benjamin Dahlia's, Kurt Stenberg, Zach Baker's, and I reckon that's Rodenstein's. But look at the crowd; they're loving it.
No social distancing.
That does not look safe. The way that they're hovering about 1.5 meters off the ground, especially the ones that are all sitting. My goodness, what a beautiful game this is!
It is a good game. There is no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about that whatsoever. I like the one guy who seems to be taking a photo, but you can't actually tell because the resolution is so low. Oh my goodness. I'd like to know where Kurt got all these photos from. I wonder if these are people that he knows. I wonder if these are all of his Facebook friends, perhaps. And that guy in the background, what is he doing? With what is... He's got his pants open by the looks of it.
He's wicked cool. I'm just looking at this woman who I'm sure her name must be Sharon.
It can only be Sharon. That guy looks like he's about to put that Zupa Duper down his pants to try to warm it up so that he can drink it rather than having to eat it. Which I know is something I've done on many occasions.
You see 10 middle-aged white women walking down a street and you yell Karen, 5 of them, or sorry, Sharon, 5 of them will look around.
Do you know why, Stairs? Do you know why women only walk in groups of 3?
I don't know.
Because they can't even.
Why isn't it 5?
That guy with the... we're about to see this man with the Steadicam.
Oh, yeah, he's got knee pads and everything.
He's-
I don't know what he's filming.
Yeah. And that guy with the...
Binoculars?
That guy with the binoculars. My goodness. And there's Sharon again. She's teleporting
She
all
gets
over the
about,
place.
doesn't she?
She does get about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet
What's
she
this
fucking
woman?
does.
What? There's a woman behind that young girl with the orange T-shirt with the backwards writing on it. What's this woman doing?
Looks like she's got something on the ground. Oh, that's a ugly child. My goodness.
I hope these aren't people
What
that
is she
Kurt
doing?
Stenberg knows.
What is she doing? She's got something on the ground. She's got a straw,
We're about to find out.
perhaps, or something. We're about to phase through the... Oh, my goodness. Getting uncomfortably close.
Oh no, I don't think there's anything to be learnt here.
I reckon she's got a straw that looked like a straw. And,
Oh,
that-
look at this guy!
Oh my god!
Oh, I've lost him.
Look at him. It's just that was like a horror film. He just slowly appeared behind.
He's got his umbrella and his cigarette.
He's loving it. He's loving life. Get that in you.
If you're watching, apologies. We're just killing time in this warm up prior to.
send us an up to date photo of yourself, you handsome devil, you. Speaking of handsome devils, I like how this zooms in on Victoria.
Yeah, that's my mistake.
Where Hidden Valley Raceway obviously is not, because otherwise it would be covered in COVID. Turn 1, Turn 2, Turn 3, Turn 4 doesn't exist. Turn 5.
Specifically turn 4.
Turn 4 doesn't exist.
Turn 4 is the one that goes left. Turn 2 and 3 are both right hand.
That's right, sorry, Turn 2 and 3 should be 1. Turn 9 doesn't exist though. It's a very slight light, but it's really it's in the corner. Those can be 1. 12 I'll allow, 13 and 14 can probably be combined as well. Ethan Warren with both wins last time out, but so far tonight we have got 2 different winners. We have got Thomas McMillan and we have got Sean Allen.
Our record has now gone away from Ethan just a little bit.
Heath Dixon, Microsoft could learn from this kind of visual excellence. I know. I wonder if you visited Hidden Valley in Flight Simulator, if you would find
Get
the
the
same
downloads for him.
the same men and women and everything in between.
Now there is a calm because the storm is approaching.
It is.
We're just going to let you soak it in. We're going to let you soak it in.
Soaking it like a tepid bath.
Bathe in it.
That sounded very aggressive. Bathe in it.
I really want you to bathe in it.
Bathe in it.
Sean Allen on his way.
He is indeed. So Sean Allen with his second pole position of the night. And he will be starting on the soft tyres, so that will definitely be a good start for him. Behind him, Kurt Stenberg on the hard tyres, so what can he do from second to defend that position? Zach Baker on the soft tyres will be starting just behind him in third place. Also on the soft tyres, Thomas McMillan on the hard tyres starting from fourth. How can he defend from Colin Warwick behind him? Who will be on the soft tyres, yep. David Enrich also on the soft tyres starting from sixth. Brody Steen starting from 7th with the hard tyres, because I don't believe he's run them at any stage tonight.
Yep.
Alex Cattle in 8th place, who has run the hard tyres, so he'll be on the softs. Behind them is RSM Latino, also on the softs.
Yep.
And in 10th place, Benjamin D'Alia, also on the softs. And Lachlan Horan in 11th, softs.
Yep.
Dane Luciardo,
Well, he's failed to be there.
he has failed to materialize, so he's
Still in the garage by the looks of it. And
still,
that's
so he'll be starting from the pit lane if he starts at all.
yeah, but he hasn't come out of the garage, so it doesn't look good for Dane Luciardo fans.
Heath Dixon will get onto researching how Hidden Valley looks in Flight Simulator in about 6 years when the download finishes. How big is it?
I was wondering, since he's still watching this broadcast.
in gigabytes, Heath? How big is it out of professional interest?
Literally just professional interest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll find
I
out.
expect to earn money from it.
Do you?
No.
No, interest rates are low right now.
I wonder how much a hotel
My
setup is.
interest in... No, couldn't think of a way to finish that.
Very
Burn.
good. Nice one. Very well done.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get physical.
I'm quite actually happy that we're coming back to this racetrack next week.
I know
'cause,
it's performed well
it's been
tonight.
some bloody good racing
91.
tonight.
We've got conflicting information. 91 gig from Heath, and Budsy says 150 gig. Cole again.
Well, the lights are on, so we're going to let that one go through to the Cooper. And we're racing. And Sean Allen was a little bit slow to move. Kurt Stenberg got a really good jump, but he's got the hard tyres, so he's going to come under pressure from behind. And they go down into turn 1. It's going to be Dave. Oh, who's that going through? Oh, I thought it was Colin Warwick was about to take them all out. But Zach Baker has got a great start, goes up into second place behind Sean Allen. Kurt Stenberg loses 1 spot off the line.
As does Thomas McMillan to Colin Warwick, who's now right on the back of his co-admin Kurt Stenberg. But Sean Allen, as we expected, is beginning to streak out in front. Zach Baker, though, with a good start, and it was pretty important for him to get that position done pretty early on because he didn't want to get stuck behind the hard-tired Kurt Stenberg for too long.
Looks like everyone's got through cleanly. Hopefully I haven't spoken too soon. Don't see any spinners in this early stage. Sean Allen leading the way.
No spinners, plenty of spanners.
Oh. Hey, that one.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. How much?
Not much.
Ah, fair enough. So
$10 with compounding interest.
Oh, I'm okay with that. Replace the one that I've forfeited from.
No. We've settled that. He's joined our Patreon.
That's what I said. I forfeited it.
You did.
So Thomas McMillan defending from David Nedich in the background there, as you can see.
Yeah,
there he goes.
In fact, he hasn't done a particularly good job of defending that because David Nedich is going to go right through there. And so he should, because he's got much more grip on these tyres.
So much less giss is what I said. Grip was the word I was looking for, but apparently my brain just decided not to. And you can see there, the back bumper of that ZB Racing Mustang.
Oh, goes wide.
Disappearing as he runs off wide at the hairpin, but not too much. And the amount of grip that those softs have is so much that he's able to get back up alongside Thomas McMillan despite that error.
Yeah, I think if David Nedich can just get himself into a bit of a groove, he'll be able to pull away from Thomas McMillan. All of the hard tyre runners seem to struggle towards the back end of race 1. Meanwhile, at the end of lap 1, it is Sean Allen pulling away at the moment from Zach Baker. Wow, that went quickly. That felt like one lap. Flash of the lights from Thomas McMillan. Don't know what that was
Maybe
about.
Listening to us. Colin Warwick, though, is going down the inside of Kurt Stenberg and is getting that third.
Whoa, there's contact there.
Ooh. A little bit of a bump, maybe.
Oh,
and
David Nedich is around, so that's not gone well. His
2 races in a row.
Efforts to get ahead of Thomas McMillan have come to naught at this stage.
It was all looking so promising, and now it's not.
It is not.
He's now down in 11th place, which is last. We have lost a couple of runners for this last race.
He's done it all by himself as
Colin
well.
Warwick just pressuring Kurt Stenberg.
Here's the replay of David Nenivich's spin. Just locked the rears.
After getting the job done on Thomas McMillan and looking like he was going to settle himself down, he did not do that and instead span himself around. So Colin Warwick, you can see how much more grip he has over Kurt Stenberg. He's just hunting him down through this last sector of twisty turns.
Just a quick replay of what happened a lap ago between those two. It was, I think Colin Warwick got a little bit deep on the brakes there, and then we saw the incident from the ZB car behind. But Colin Warwick, take 2 this time. He's got a little bit further alongside, and if he brakes a little bit earlier, he might be able to make that move stick, but he's done exactly the same thing, and Kurt Stenberg this time was ready for it. Whoops. In that case, he gets back up underneath, but Colin Warwick, speaking of back up underneath, gets through there side by side through 2, 3 and 4 into 5. It's Colin Warwick with the inside, and Kurt Stenberg's only chance here is to hang tough around the outside, which gives him the inside for turn 6, but he just doesn't have the grip. Neither does Colin Warwick. Locking up, he'll have some massive flat spots on the front of those soft tyres.
He will. He does get a good drive around the outside of that hairpin, but it's not good enough. He has to settle behind Kurt Stenberg once again. Kurt Stenberg doing an incredible job defending on these hard tyres.
Have a look at the view from Colin Warwick behind. What is his view? You can see that he's got pace to burn throughout this final sector, but he just hasn't been able to get the job done in the corners where it counts. Great run off the final corner here. Can he make the move stick?
Yeah, he's got the slipstream, slices out to go down the inside. He's given himself a lot of room there. He could probably crowd Kurt Stenberg a lot more than that.
This is
moves over to do so.
So similar to the last lap. He's going to do it again. He's backed it in again. In fact, he's gone even deeper this time onto the grass for Colin Warwick.
So it's just not going Colin Warwick's way right now. He somehow managed to hang on to 4th place. That's the distance up ahead to Kurt Stenberg, but he does have Brody Steen a couple of seconds behind him. I thought Brody was actually a little bit closer.
Well, Thomas
than that.
McMillan was behind him, but Thomas McMillan appears to have dropped back to 8th.
Yeah, we'll try and investigate the cause of that, because he was primed, ready to take that position.
Colin Warwick, by all rights, should be in 3rd place by now, but he's
there's
just...
been a collision.
Oh.
Sorry, go on.
He should be in 3rd place by now. He's used up a lot of those soft tyres. Looks like Colin Warwick was recovering. This is what I saw. So I saw him right behind him.
Just.
Ooh.
Oh, and in sympathy.
In sympathy.
Does Benjamin Dahlia as well. Oh, my goodness. That was very nearly an aeroplane crash.
Very well avoided from Alex Cattle, it must be said. Getting out and around Thomas McMillan, who has actually DNF. So Thomas McMillan's throwing the towel in. He's not enjoying those hard tyres at all. Classic Thomas McMillan.
Everyone else had to take the pain, mate. Couldn't you stick it?
Yeah, but his is at the end of the night, so it's easier for him to go now.
I'm not apologising for my comments.
Me neither. Colin Warwick is slowly slicing...
I'm disappointed.
Slowly
I'm not
cutting.
angry. Sorry.
He's catching up to Kurt Stenberg. Last lap around was a 107. Oh, no, never mind. He didn't catch up last lap because that was when he had his mischief. But
who is it we're talking about?
Colin Warwick.
Okay.
On Kurt Stenberg. My goodness.
Yeah.
So that's come down to about 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, let's see how he goes to the final sector. I think that's where he might be a bit stronger.
Yeah, down
Kurt
under a
looks
second.
like he's wide through there. I think over the course of this race, Colin Warwick should be able to prevail. I mean, look how little time he actually lost given what happened. Yeah, onto the grass on the previous lap.
McMillan gave everything he had, said Heath Dixon. I'm not sure if that's strictly accurate.
Personal best lap from Colin Warwick on that occasion. Wow. 4/10 in the final sector. I did think he was stronger through there.
It is a grip sector because you're shifting back and forth a lot.
If only he could just get it done, and then he would be able to pull away through there. But I think he's struggling in the parts of the racetrack that are considered your traditional overtaking opportunities.
He does appear, especially turn 1, where he just cannot seem. Maybe he should have done some. I saw him doing some pit stop practice during the pre-race. Maybe he should have done some braking down the inside of turn 1 practice.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get the job done at turn 1. I think he's going to try and set it up for a pass into 6. So you get up alongside, you go side by side through
or
the
undercut
first sector.
Undercut in the pit stops.
Well, yes, that is a good chance. We saw lap 7 was the earliest time where they pit on the first race. And they both go by the pit entry, teasing us a little bit, but we've got a slipstream here for Colin Warwick. He gets the run later on down the straight, and it's going to be side by side as they go down into turn 1. A bit of a wiggle.
Better.
Yeah, whoa. And he forces, well, he ends up letting Kurt Stenberg make a little bit of an error. We saw a bit of a wobble there from Kurt, but Colin, despite being a little bit cautious under brakes, he still gets the move done, and a great job there. He manages to hang on to that position through the first sector, and if he can just start to pull away through this final sector, he should be clear, home and dry.
Clear, home and hosed and dry, I think is the term, isn't it?
Well, there are multiple ways of saying it.
Oh,
Home and hosed.
home and hosed.
Clear and dry.
That's what I was thinking of.
You get dry after
Speaking
you get
of
hosed.
hosed, I've noticed it's raining, so I'm looking forward to my walk to the car after this.
You get home and hosed, but after you get hosed, you get dry. So home and dry is another way of saying that saying.
Indeed.
The more you know.
Colin Warwick hanging on to 3rd place at the moment, though Kurt Stenberg is still right on the back of him.
He didn't pull the same sort of gap through the final sector that he did when he was behind Kurt.
No, Kurt managing a bit of a slipstream here. I'm not sure if he's going to have the chance to go down the inside. Doesn't look like it. So hopefully over the twisty middle and last sectors of Hidden Valley, Colin can extend that advantage. Speaking of extending advantages, at the front, Sean Allen is out to about a 2.5 second lead over Zach Baker.
Here is the leader, all by his lonesome. This is panning out much like I thought it would.
This is about the most lonely race Sean Allen's had tonight. He's sort of been amongst it during races 1 and 2.
While taking the pain, I questioned the decision to take the pain of being on the hard tyres in the first race when he had pole position, but it turned out to be the right strategy because all the other front runners have saved that for last.
I guess it's starting from first with the hard tyres.
Oh, he's in.
At least minimises your pain as much as possible. He probably didn't know whether he was going to have pole positions the other races, so Kurt Stenberg and Colin Warwick not hitting on this
Just
occasion.
Sean Allen, who has opted to make his pit stop.
Very early.
Zach Baker goes
Oh
into
no,
the lead of the race.
holy crap, we're lap 10 stairs.
Yeah, no, it's not early at all, in fact.
That's actually one of the later pit stops we've had
So
from the front runner.
He's dropped back to 7th place, so he's in a bit of traffic by the looks of it. Let's see if we can pick up.
Yeah, he's got David Natter.
He's still actually coming out. He's still coming out. He hadn't quite rejoined when I mentioned that, so he has actually found a bit of clear track to drop himself back into. And we also had pit stops from Alex Cattle and Benjamin Dahlia on this lap. So we'll wait and see whether we see some of the other front runners. Zach Baker having a very strong running in what was second before Brody Steen came in. Let's see if he makes his pit stop on this lap. He's gone very, very wide. I think you'll be happy to see the end of those tyres.
It's a very, very awkward last corner, and he does indeed decide those tyres are well and truly past their use by date.
Good call. Kurt Stenberg isn't pitting.
Because no, he hasn't. No, Sean Allen is pit. My goodness. I'm starting to lose my mind stairs, I think.
Colin Warwick's gone up into the lead of the race as a result of that. So here is Colin Warwick leading in style through turn 1. He is struggling with the brakes under that.
Leading in
Into
style.
that first corner.
Giving Blackshaws all of the TV time that they need.
RSM Latino also in the pits. David Nemenich, Brody Steen. So this is very much the time to pit. That's probably 2/3 of the pit of the grid, I should say. Now taking service.
Zach Baker coming out into 4th place, and unsurprisingly, about 6 seconds behind Sean Allen. So that's
a big lead.
It's a big lead. So Zach Baker did have a awkward in lap, as we saw through that last corner, especially.
So Kurt Stenberg is in 2nd. Colin Warwick is in 1st. Are we going to see Colin Warwick pit on this lap? We are.
And there he is. You are now seeing him as well.
And Kurt Stenberg has elected to continue running, so he's doing the same strategy that he did in race 1, trying to extend that first stint with the hope that he gets some better running at the end. But he's on the hard tyres, so I don't know how much.
At the moment, he would slot in between Zach Baker and RSM Latino. Very nice. Very nice. Yep. My co-commentator just farted.
Nice. Kurt Stenberg.
It's the most truth I've ever told in my life. Kurt
dear.
Stenberg goes very deep there and off the track at turn 5. So that won't be helping his efforts. So
I just think the wear rate on these tyres is as bad as the softs.
Still looking like he's going to slot in between Colin Warwick and RSM Latino. That would be in 4th place.
Will he be cleared? It's about an 8-second gap in which he can find himself. RSM Latino will be running on the softs. I wonder if this is an opportunity for him.
Yeah, to get some very decent points. He is leading the Super 2 Championship, so I know he's got pace. Kurt Stenberg goes on again, so this is only going to be worsening the pain for him.
The trouble is, the longer that you drag this out, the less opportunity you have to take advantage of the soft tyre.
That's correct. RSM Latino hasn't cut into that advantage, or that disadvantage rather, at all.
Here is RSM Latino leading I wouldn't say a train of cars. The field spread in this race is probably the biggest that we've seen throughout the night.
Yeah, closest battle on track is between 7th and 8th, which is Brody Steen and David Nanadich. So sort of the other drivers from the podium sitters, Sean Allen and Zach Baker's teams.
See them in the back of that shot there. Here is Kurt Stenberg. We're going to keep an eye on him to see if he pops into the pits.
That gap to RSM Latino has come down by about 2 seconds on this lap, so he's definitely looking like he's running out of opportunity to come into that 4th place.
But he will have the fresh tyres, albeit hard ones. We'll see if he does elect to make his pit stop on this occasion. I'm very surprised that he's not doing that.
He's doing this for a meme, surely, at this stage.
All right, let's catch up with this battle. This is the closest battle on the racetrack. David Nemovich and Brody Steen. And Brody Steen taking the defensive line into 6th, but in the end, he runs out of grip and opens the door wide for Brody. For David Nedevich to drive right through it.
Yeah, so Brody Steen now on the attack, and David Nedevich doing quite well. He's recovering, of course, from that incident we saw at turn 1. He would probably prefer to be up in the podium spots at this stage, but unfortunately is down in 7th place. Oof, I thought that was going to be a cloud on the wall for Brody Steen. That looked very close indeed. But Stenberg still have not pit. He's coming around for yet another lap.
5 laps to go in this race.
So he's coming through the last sector now. So will he finally cry enough on these worn hard tyres?
Probably end up leading more laps in this race than Sean Allen.
It's now 36 seconds to RSM Latino. Nope. So he's going to do it. I'm calling it. He's going to do it on the second to last lap, just as going as long as he can, just to see what he can do.
What sort of lap times is he doing? He is exactly 2 seconds slower than Sean Allen, but I'd say only about one of those seconds is due to the fact that he's on hards. I think they're just wearing out. Zach Baker did a 106.5, and he's on softs, relatively new ones. Colin Warwick's just set the fastest middle sector of the lap during this race, 22.1. What else is of significance? RSM Latino faster by a second than Kurt Stenberg, so that
is a compulsory pit stop, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now have to change at least 2 tyres.
Yeah. So I guess he could possibly be trying to go as long as possible, then just changing the rears, and then hoping that he's able to maybe bring home a decent position.
I think it was it the DRMs? There was one series I commentated on where they had a bit of a mismatch in.
And he comes in.
He is coming in, and there was a bit of a mismatch. Whenever people changed 2 tyres, the balance was completely off afterwards, and so they tried to delay the pain of that for as long as they possibly could.
Wasn't the DRMs? I'm not sure actually.
I remember Brenton Foley talking about it. Maybe because the caterhams.
Because the DRMs, you could only change all or none. Yeah, there was no 2-car option or 2-wheel option. We didn't have pit stops in the caterhams.
Okay, I have no idea what it was then. So RSM Latino, I don't think he's going to get that position because Kurt Stenberg...
You've got to wait for... It's such a long time before you can get on the power here though. Look, he's already... RSM Latino looming in the background.
Yeah, but that camera angle is a bit deceptive. This is how it looks from RSM Latino's point of view.
It's quite close.
He is very close, but Kurt Stenberg is going to have the fresher tyres.
No cigar on this particular occasion.
I keep adding that addendum to that sentence though, that they are hard
tyres, yes.
So, you know.
RSM Latino and RSM Latino's tyres are obviously going to be up to temperature. Those hards are going to take a while to heat up. So,
rather have an old Game Boy than a new piece of shit.
You mean, sorry, you mispronounced PlayStation Vita. Oh no!
RSM getting the tyres lit up on the exit. Alex Cattle actually well placed in this particular battle. Could well take advantage there. And I think Kurt Stenberg has taken that pit stop not a lap too late.
No, I think if he'd waited one more lap, then RSM Latino would have had that position. Alex Cattle, yeah. Sorry, my voice broke there a little bit. All over the back of RSM Latino as they come onto the start-finish straight.
Yeah, not wrong.
Sean Allen with a 9-second lead now over Zach Baker. He can walk it in from there. With 2 laps to go.
Could have a cup of tea.
Could have a cup of tea.
Yeah, I think Zach Baker will be happy as well. He's played the strategy well. Or wide there for Kurt Stenberg through the first corner, which gives RSM Latino a bit of a looky-loo, bit of a wiggly-woo for Alex Cattle in behind. That loses him a lot of the distance in that little battle.
Sounds like a Dr. Zeus creature or something. Oh, the wiggly woos that live in the wigwam trees or something. And goes wide a little bit at the hairpin as well, does Kurt Stenberg. So RSM Latino is managing to keep into this battle. We know he's not a slouch because he is in the lead of the Super 2 Championship.
Kurt's definitely got his hands full trying to keep him behind on soft tyres.
He is. When did RSM Latino pit?
Let's try. Let's see if we can find that information.
I don't think it was recently, because we've been talking about the gap to him for the last 4 or 5 laps, or the last 6 or 7 laps even.
Lap 10.
Lap 10. So his tyres are about 7 laps old now, exactly 7 laps old indeed, as they start lap 18. and he goes for the inside at turn one.
It is the only one.
Oh,
Stenberg gives him the racing room, but RSM Latino, well, he drove cleanly and he got that position incredibly well. Like the car just was planted through turn one, like we couldn't see from Colin Warwick. RSM Latino driving beautifully at the moment, gets the position from Kurt Stenberg.
He is indeed. PLM 0YT saying good racing going on. Absolutely, there is.
Thanks for watching.
And races 1 and 2 were even better, if you can believe it. So make sure you have a look at them if you have not already.
I think Kurt Stenberg's even got his hands full trying to keep Alex Cattle behind. The car all out of shape there and drifting it through turns 10 and 11.
Jesus.
Sorry, not turns 10 and 11.
He's barely in
11,
control of it.
10 and... well, that was 10 and 11, beg your pardon.
Look at him backing it in at the last corner. Alex Cattle's going to have a go here into turn 1, I reckon.
Absolutely. This new tyre strategy that we're seeing is throwing some battles together that we haven't seen before.
I'm a fan of it.
Absolutely.
Sean Allen coming around the hairpin on his last lap, but Alex Cattle goes down the inside.
He sailed wide.
Yeah.
You could tell he wasn't pulling that up.
I was thinking that he probably doesn't have too much experience braking with it.
He's still in a great position, Madbird. Sorry to cut across you, but he's got a great run out of 1. Side by side, if he can stay there, he'll have the inside through turn 5. Oh, Kirk just gives him the room.
Oh, no.
And Alex Cattle has spun it around. How disappointing. No. What a shame. David Nenadic still there to pick up the pieces. Meanwhile, we got a race winner, Madbird. Sean Allen is coming across the line to take 2 out of the 3 races in victorious style. Sean Allen, your race winner for race number 1, ahead of Zach Baker. A richly deserved second place for him after taking the pain of the hard tyres in race 1. Ahead of Colin Warwick, who'll be pretty happy with that. A podium finish. Meanwhile, behind him, it's going to be RSM Latino, who prevailed in his battle with Kurt Stenberg, who's got it all to do, trying to out-drag David Nedadic to the line, and it looks like he's just going to hang on to 5th place ahead of David Nedadic. Brody Steen's going to finish behind in 7th place. Unfortunately, Alex Cattle, after being well involved in that battle, is going to drop to 8th place. Benjamin Dahlia in 9th, and Lachlan Horan a lap down. Rounds out the top 10.
Cracking night of racing, and Sean Allen making the most of his opportunities while Dane Warren was not here tonight to cut into his championship lead.
That's going to be mighty close now.
It's 100 points a win, isn't it?
That's right.
So, well, it's 300 points for a round, but split between 3 races is 100 points a win. So that gap's going to be cut to 100 points, I want to say.
Well, he didn't get the win in race number 1, and he was off the podium.
No, but even with those results, though, it'd still be probably cut down to about
4th in race 1. So that was probably the strongest hard tyre run we saw from anyone tonight. So what a fantastic night of racing. We'll wait to see if we get some of the drivers coming in to have a bit of a chat with us. But in the meantime, we're watching Sean Allen celebrating his win with some richly deserved donuts. A little bit more unruly celebrations than we saw the last time. No wheels rolling down the start-finish straight, so that's something much to be desired.
As we've seen both ZB cars on the monitor trying to squeeze into the same pit garage.
Oh my goodness me.
For a split second, the 3 podium sitters were sort of arranged on the start-finish straight, but then they quickly became not arranged. But that was race number 3, and Kurt Stenberg just did his very best on those hard tyres, but just you could tell the lack of pace was hurting him.
Madbird, I believe we've got some of our podium sitters waiting for a chat.
Yes, indeed. So I have got Thomas McMillan in the box, who took out the win in the first race and took out 2nd in the second race, I want to say. Or was it 3rd in the second race? It was a podium regardless. Very
3rd in the second race.
Very consistent results for you tonight, mate. Very quick around here, and some fantastic battles through races 1 and 2. And then the hard tyres in race number 3, you didn't seem to enjoy them very much.
Yeah, that last race, I spun and I was like, oh, I give up, I'm buggered. That last race,
we can't hear it.
Got me.
That's what
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me?
We can now
I
hear
think
you.
we've got you.
We've got you now.
I think the broadcast could hear you, but we couldn't. So apologies, as you were.
Oh, anyways, yeah, the third race I just gave up. I was spun out. I'm like, yeah, I'm buggered for the last 2 races, so yeah, I gave up. But the first race was really good with Stenny, and then the second race, that was interesting. I wasn't happy with Sean's bump and run on me, but yeah, I got head off a few times.
We saw you
but,
offering up a little bit of your own retribution in that race, so there was some. You copped a few serves and you dished out a couple yourself.
Yeah, I felt like I was being fairly clean, and then got head off a few times. Stenny flung me across the track, and then Sean nearly did the same thing to me. But then I got head off, and yeah, I just had enough. Wasn't too happy, but it is what it is. It was good fun racing tonight.
Absolutely, the new tyre rules definitely creating some interest in and some battles that we haven't seen in previous rounds. How do you think that went?
I reckon it was really cool, especially with the tyre wear as well, and not just a hard tyre. I know, like me and Sandy 2 laps apart, there was heaps of like lap time difference between our 2 lap newer tyres, and it was really cool. It was a lot of fun actually.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on 2 podiums tonight and a victory to start the night. Thomas McMillan, good luck in the next round.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Madbird, who have we got next?
We've got Sean Allen, who has made the absolute most of his opportunities while Dane Warren is away. While Dane Warren is away, Sean Allen shall take home 2 wins and a 4th place, and make a bit of cut a little bit into that deficit to the championship leader. Good racing tonight, Sean, and you got the hards out of the way in race 1. Were you always planning to do that, or when did you think about not doing that when you got pole position in the first race?
Plan was always to run the hards in the first race. I just wanted to get them out of the way as soon as possible pretty well, and yeah, go from there.
It looked like you had a shocking start in the first race. Was that the hards, or did you also just have a bad start?
Oh, it's a mixture of hards, and I sort of fluffed it a little bit. I tried to start like I normally would on the soft tyres, and yeah, the hards just weren't having it.
Fair enough, but races 2 and 3, some very solid racing in race number 2 to bring home the win, and then race number 3 you sort of didn't have a challenge, you just you webbed it, or you vettled it off into the distance, and took home the 2 wins, so you must be happy with that.
Vettling it means spinning now.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result, to be honest. Take them whilst you can get them pretty well. I was a little bit miffed with McMillan in race 2, hence why I served him. I thought I'd readdress the cut track for him since he decided to cut an entire corner, so yeah, thought I'd take that upon myself, give him a bit of a serve. I felt he was blocking me a little bit and being a bit of an idiot, so I thought I'd serve him. I was pretty annoyed.
Fair enough. Some drink bottles thrown in the ready room after the race.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a fly on the wall when with their debrief. But regardless, your night just got better and better as it went on tonight, Sean. So congratulations on a night well raced.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Let's move on to Kurt Stenberg, who had quite a strong night and was in contention for the race. But what I want to really talk about is that redress at the end of race 1. That was masterfully executed. I know it's probably not the way you wanted that race to end, but to redress that position to Thomas without losing the 3rd place to David Nenadic was well, we were jumping out of our skins here. How was that for you?
Yeah, well, I was in the same Discord channel as Thomas. I was telling him to hurry up and make sure he stayed in front of David, and then yeah, I rolled out of the throttle on the straight and I managed to get it perfect, so it was a bit of a fluke, but yeah, I tried to make it so that Thomas would barely be in front of me, so I didn't lose the spot to David, and yeah, it worked out. So, but yeah, I ran him a bit wide there, and I know when you get out wide there, you're pretty much off the road, so knew it was my fault, took the responsibility, and redressed the position.
Well, it was very, very sporting. We had comments in the live chat saying that was all class, so well done on that. A tenth and a half was the gap between Thomas and David Nenadic at the end of race 1, and you managed to slot in 7 thousandths behind Thomas. So that was a hell of a battle. Making the very, very late pit stop in race 1 and race 3 was the benefit of the soft tyres that were in race 1 that were fresher at the end of race 1. Was it worth it going that long on the first stint, or would you, if you were to do it again, would you pit a bit earlier?
It's interesting, like I deliberately did it because I wanted to try and have newer tyres on Thomas, but I didn't realise it was going to be, I actually was a much bigger gain having newer tyres at the end of the race than what I thought. But in hindsight, I probably would have just pitted after him. I saw his lap times when he came out of the pits and I'm like, I need to get onto new tyres. But I thought, nah, I'm going to stay out a bit, try something, and it almost worked, so it almost paid off. But yeah, I don't know. I probably would have pitted a lap earlier maybe, and then would have given myself another lap to have a shot, because it was a big dip, having a dip on the last lap there. And as you saw in the second race, I got passed by Thomas, went back to third, and I thought I'm going to try the early stop here and do the Thomas thing and see how it goes. And I probably regret pitting that early in that race, to be honest, because I had no tyres at the end to be able to fight with Sean or the others. I just had to try and hang on, and I managed to get lucky with them squabbling. Yeah,
it was a big squabble there, but in race 1 and 2, you finished second in both of those races, but both within a second, so there wasn't much between you and a victory tonight. So congratulations at least on those 2 podiums, and then the hard tyre was a bit of a struggle in race 3.
Yeah, mate, a bit of a struggle, a bit frustrating. There's not much you can do. I mean, you're just out there turning around by yourself. I like the format. I got to race against some guys that I'd never get to race against normally, but it's just frustrating from a driving perspective when you just know you're not in with the shot, and you just got to do the best to finish where you did. And I was there, arms or elbows out, trying to make sure that people didn't get past me, because they had newer softs and I was just struggling out there. So, but oh well. That's the race, and we managed to get a reasonable result, but I'm pretty disappointed I didn't come away with a win tonight. So.
Oh well, we're coming back here next week, so there is a good chance to do it all again next week, and maybe you can nab one then.
Hopefully. I like this place. It's one of my favourite tracks, as most people probably know. And so I'd like to add a P1 so far this season, but yeah, hopefully we can do it next week. But I believe that we'll have some Warren brothers that might make that a bit difficult, but we'll see.
That'll be very, very interesting indeed. Well, thank you to all of our podium sitters for coming in and having a chat, and also to the ones who couldn't join us, the 2 ZB guys, David Nenadich and Zach Baker, who each claimed a podium tonight, and Colin Warwick as well. Is Colin Warwick in here? No, he's not. So congratulations anyway to Colin for his podium in race number... Oh, here he is. He's jumped in. So well, let's just have a quick chat with Colin. Podium in the last race there, after taking the pain of the hards in race 1. That meant that the night could only get better for you after that. Congratulations.
Obviously took the pants off.
We'll leave that one where it is.
Yeah, the pants are definitely on, mate. Although I should take them off because I'm sweating, but we'll, talk about that later. But yeah, the racing went alright. I need a new graphics card because this one's been playing up, and I had a few frame lag issues, especially in qualifying through the flip flop. It kept lagging through there, and then the last corner as well. I was actually on for 4.6 or 4.7, and it lagged and I lost 2/10, so that wasn't good. But yeah, pressed on in that last one and got a good result, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, good battle with Kurt Stenberg at the end, at the beginning of race 3 we saw, and you saw you had so much pace in the final sector, but there wasn't any way through there. And turn 1 was looking like the best opportunity, but it looked quite slippery under brakes into there.
Yeah, I was probably just braking too late, just a bit ambitious to get the move done, because I knew Stenny was on the hards, and yeah, I went off the road pretty much nearly every time I tried to pass him. So, but then eventually got the move done, and yeah, I actually got a lot of time to Zach. I'm not sure how, but yeah, and then I just pressed on and had no tyres left at the end. So yeah, still a good result, but yeah, hopefully I can fix these issues with the PC and get a better one next week.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not a lot of turnaround between these races, so any technical issues have to be fixed fairly hastily. So
definitely.
We wish you the best. All right. Well, that's all of our podium sitters taken care of now. So well done to all of them, Madbird. What a fantastic night of racing. Unpredictable. And that's what we like to see. This is what this new tyre rule has given us.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I look forward to seeing how it goes moving forwards. I feel what Kurt was saying about if you're on the hards, then you got no hope. Maybe it have to be changed to you have to use hards one stint or something, but I'm not sure how that would be
hard to
put in or policed. I was about to say. But regardless, whatever the result is past tonight was a fantastic night of racing, especially races 1 and 2. Those scraps for the lead were absolutely enthralling, and I greatly enjoyed it. Stairs, what about yourself?
Yep. Hard to disagree with anything you've just said there, so I won't. But what I will add is that I'm very much looking forward to seeing what these guys do next week. We've had back-to-back races in Sydney and quite different rounds at both of those 2 rounds. Back to back. If you count all the 6 races that we had in Sydney. So the same thing here, but how it'll play out next week remains to be seen. If you take the real-life example of categories that have done back-to-back races, in Formula 1, every time they've done a back-to-back race, it's been a different winner the second time around. In MotoGP, it was the same winner in both rounds. So I don't think there's any conclusions to be made from that whatsoever. But
appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah.
And we've had 3 different winners tonight. 2 different winners tonight as well. So look forward to seeing what people bring to the table next time out.
Absolutely. Well, don't miss it. This time next week. See you then.
See you later.